Hello. Oops. No, not that button. This button.
Oh, are we
Welcome.
on time?
Oh no, we're 20 minutes late.
No, we're 20 minutes over. We were talking for 20 minutes.
Yep.
Okay.
Welcome to Season 3, Episode 3 of Fate of the Norns, Ragnarok, also known as Episode 6.
Episode 6.
Yes. So, you guys arrived.
Are running gags.
You arrived at the town of Borg. What happened? Let's see. Summary for those who haven't seen. The sun and I think it was actually both the sun and moon are
The sun and the moon have been eaten by wolves.
Ragnarok has arrived. Everything is dark. Everything is constantly snowing. Fimbulwinter is here. It's the Viking Apocalypse. You guys are on Iceland. You arrived a few episodes ago at a village called Borg. You met people. You slept, and in your sleep were attacked by a shadow monster, and you slew it. And then you woke up the next morning and talked to people, and people are starving. And then you went to the nearby village, which is gathering and hoarding all of the food to figure out why it's happening. They're disconnecting. They disconnected from Discord, so you couldn't find out exactly what's happening.
I'm back.
You're back.
Your camera's off. Indigo now.
Oh no.
There we go.
There it is. I tried to hit mute and it was.
You hit disconnect instead of mute.
I mean, it works.
Yep. What else happened?
That's one way of muting yourself.
You met.
I gotta beat up a knight.
You
That's on the
met
to-do list.
Sir Marvin the
Gotta
Knight,
beat him up.
and you shall have an honorable duel the next time you arrive at his town of Borgerfjord. Yeah, they seem to also be like gathering the food in there, but you weren't really let into the main village. You were in the docks and hung around there and asked questions.
They weren't letting anyone in the main village, from what we understood, right? Like other than people who lived there.
Yeah. And there were other fishermen who didn't live there. Not many, but other people would come and sell fish there as well.
Mm-hmm. But we did figure out if we could just get like hooded cloaks, we could sneak in Assassin's Creed style. Like they're not watching people too closely.
Yeah. That is true. Because it's winter and dark and cold, a lot of people are typically wearing traveler's cloaks. Because it's always nighttime, it's hard to see under them. And they're not manually searching every single person and having they're not doing anything like that. So, yeah. I believe you guys were still in the docks when we ended last session. You hadn't left or done anything specifically.
Yeah, because that guy, he said that the Lord of Borgefjord wants Egil dead or
best
alive.
Friend.
He would prefer alive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, our bestest of best buds, Egil. And we said we'll go see if he's actually in the town of Borg.
Because we're totally not coming right from there.
We're outsiders, and
totally.
they're not gonna know about us. Which is exactly why we came to Bjork.
Yep. So, I guess I will ask, do you guys want to do anything before you leave the docks?
I think we're out of stuff to do in the docks of Bjorgerford.
Unless we try and sneak in and try and figure out why food is being hoarded.
To do what? We don't have.
I don't know.
We can't fight an honorable duel if we sneak in. Unless we want to steal a bunch of money. Unless we want to do a bank heist on our way out of town to go investigate the last crime in this town.
I don't know, sneaking in to figure out what's up with the king or Jarl, whatever.
Trying to eavesdrop on some stuff?
Yeah.
I think we might need to
It would be easier to do if we had an inn, if they just let us in for some reason, which we can pretty easily accomplish. I mean, all we got to do is kill a giant.
Or the harder sell is we convince Egil to come in under false pretenses of like, yo, Egil, we're gonna sneak you in to fight this dude that you want to fight. But then Egil's gonna, like, as soon as he gets in, he's like, all right, let's party. Let's do it. We can't get him to stop.
So much more honorable.
Oh, yeah. Very honorable.
So is the plan your plan to backstab Egil by tricking him to going to town to get him arrested to get us an in?
I think it was using Egil as our in, but like having a weapon for Egil.
Tell him we're arresting
like tell him our plan,
and then like slip him the key.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna bring him in the Death Star just like Chewbacca.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we Chewbacca and Egil, and then we let Egil go, and then we steal all of the money.
I don't know. I didn't think that far ahead.
Well, that's the money is how they're getting all the food. It's not that they're beating up all of the fishermen. It's that they're buying all of the food.
They're paying a lot of money for food, but
which is weird that there's a big money economy in Fimbulwinter where food is scarce and gold isn't.
I think we might want to get back to Borg to see what Egil's been up to while we're gone before we make plans, because I have zero trust in the fact that he was sitting there patiently twiddling his fingers waiting for us to come back.
No, I knew he was gonna try and contact his friends, right? So I told his dad, make sure Egil, doesn't get up to anything because he's planning something. So let's go see how well that turned out.
So, you all, unless you do something before you leave, arrive back at the town of Borg, the village of Borg and the town of Borgerfjord. When you arrive back, all seems the same. This is just when you're docking the boat, because you are familiar and expected. No one specifically is there to greet you. Indigo, you have a mouse on your head. There you go. It's visible for some reason.
It's by captioner.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
The limited window of safe space where my mouse does not appear, but if I go down,
it does. I see. Yeah.
Your capture somehow got where your mouse will appear. I saw it say "dead mouse," like the electronic.
Okay, it's a free capture online that I have chroma keyed the background
How did it
color
say
out
App
of.
Store?
Is it trying to pay for your iPhone? I don't know.
I imagine there's just secret sponsorships and slips in like words in there.
Yeah, every time I mention an Apple product,
yes.
I get
Skillshare.
I get a tenth of a cent put into an offshore bank account. It's a whole process.
Perfect.
All paid in Dogecoin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, I got some of those. All right.
When you arrive back, the village is still much as you left it. You see many of the men are gone, presumably hunting, but it's obviously can't tell. You see there is the makeshift soup kitchen that you left is still has finished butchering, because you've been gone for several hours. You're arriving back late in the afternoon now. The boar that you brought back has been butchered and is being used in the soups and food. And you see at the edge of the village, even from here, the tall silhouette of Scalagrim just cloaked and standing in the distance, watching the road. No one else is near him. And no one else immediately comes to welcome you. What do you do?
Should we go say hi and tell him what we found?
Yeah, he's the guy to report to.
Yeah.
When you approach, the crunch of your footsteps warns him of your approach, and he turns and sees you. There's probably, like, the wind makes his cloak flap. And he says, turning back and watching the road now, "What did you find?"
What did we find?
What did we find?
Well,
he sent you to gather information, so...
Yeah.
We found a free market economy, and unfortunately, your competitors have a better bankroll than you.
So we found out that they are paying above. Was it above market price?
Yeah, they're paying
Above,
better. Yeah.
above market price for all the fish and other food coming in. We met with the knight man, and he wanted us to do a job.
What job?
Well, it seems that Egil has been noticed.
He turns and looks at all of you, concern on his face.
Old wounds
How
have not
could he
healed.
have known?
Egil's a hard one to miss. You know, he's...
I suppose.
big.
So he still wants him captured or killed?
Yes.
Pretty much.
He would prefer captured, though.
Well, in order to kill him.
I shouldn't
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
Okay.
But is there an abundance of gold in these hills?
He shakes
It
his
seems
head and says,
Odd how they can have so much money to, you know, fluff out to fishers.
not that I know of. If they have that much gold, either he's depleting his treasury or somehow he's acquired vast amount of it.
What if they're doing alchemy?
You think that cloak stranger might be an alchemist?
Well, we don't know what they are. If there's not a lot of gold around, and obviously his stores can't be that big, I think the only other explanation could be an alchemist. Some sort of sorcerer.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
So
He
I'm
looks-
no expert on like Norse law and custom, but I take it our characters might be.
Mhm.
Is there some function of law that would allow us to operate here, like some trial by combat thing where we bring Egil over, say, okay, put him in the box, but his champions, it's going to take a week, so we'll hang out here with you guys.
That is... So,
you know,
if Egil requests trial by combat, he does have the right to trial by combat for any crime.
Will that guy give him that right, though, is the question.
That is what I do know for sure, is that is how it is in Norway, or I don't think it's called Norway in the book, but what we now call Norway. That's under King Eric Bloodaxe. That can happen. Here, it's a lot. The laws are more like guidelines here.
Wild West.
A bit more Wild West. So a lot of it would depend on the honor of this Arn, who you have yet to meet. You can ask Scalagrim, who seems to know him better, if you think that Arn would respect that request. The other thing he mentioned, I think the all thing was mentioned last
What
session.
thing?
Okay.
What thing?
yeah, the
you
all
got
thing.
the all
It's
thing.
it's like a moot.
Oh, the all
where all
thing.
the-
Yeah.
So that's
thought you
definitely
said the
something,
all
but that's
thing.
still not for a while. The next one.
Could they hold out until the all thing? Did he say?
No.
Or could they
not
try to
without
push it forward?
They can't. He doesn't have enough power to push it forward himself. They can't hold out until the all thing, as things are now. That's the trouble.
Ooh.
At least that's what Egil said.
So, what if we can manipulate the situation? What if Egil finds out that they're after him, right? Goes to the woods in a big show of like, oh, I'm going to the woods, right? So then we make Bjorgafjord call the all thing sooner. Like, we manipulate it in a way where he calls it sooner, because if he has more power, he might call an all thing to be like, go bring me Egil.
So Scalagrim, in this scene, he turns to you and you see a shadow of guilt in his eyes, and he says, I let Egil go alone. He needed to do something to blow off steam, but he didn't take any of his friends with him. He said he was going to go think, and also he was going to go see how difficult it would be to raid those farms. He wasn't going to do it. Even he's not that reckless. But I think he's going to go scout. He should be back here soon.
Do you think if Egil does lead a raid on their farms, right? Do you think that could push Bjorgafjord to push the Alving closer?
That depends on if I'm sorry, what's his name? Arn is the
Arn.
diplomatic type.
Yeah, is he the type to solve things by
Yeah.
just retaliation? Or, yeah. And I think...
Or do we try and use Egil in a different way? Because Egil is the piece that he wants. I'm not saying give him your son. I'm saying use the leverage of your son to get what you want. Which is in all thing to tell everyone else that he's hoarding food.
And what would happen if I don't give him my son after that? Besides, we have another problem. He won't even hear me. I can yell my message to the guards. Maybe it'll get to him that way. But he won't even come to the table to talk. Right now.
But he'll come to the Alving, won't he?
Yes. I think he will if we can get him that offer.
Which offer?
The offer that you just described to him.
Oh, okay.
Call
it sooner, we'll get you Egil.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Or we'll bring him there.
But I think what he says is, I do not think he will believe it coming from me. And I am the one who wants the all thing.
So
To show. Go on.
So we could suggest to Bjorgafjord's mayor, I'm blanking on the name.
Arn.
No, Arn. We just said it. I know that. So we could suggest to Arn that Egil is considering making we spin some lie about whatever Egil has some plan to do something at the all thing and get him to push it up that way. Don't even make it an offer, just like, this is where he's going to be. This is where you can make your claim against him.
Asdis, is there a size limit to that trick you do, looking like other people?
No size limit, though the second I open my mouth, my voice is my own.
That's fine.
And the more people that I am around, the more likely someone will see through it. AKA, high-level characters will not fool much.
Well, general plan was we bring a contingent of these folks with us. They hold Egil outside the walls while we go in to negotiate the surrender.
You seek to trick him and tell him that they're doing this without my blessing.
Sorry, what was that?
He says, okay, he says you seek to trick him, make him think that Egil is being brought there without my blessing.
I seek to bring him to the table. We must talk with him to see what's going on.
I don't like any of this.
I doubt you like starving either.
No,
Right
I
now, we're
think
trying to make a bunch of plans with Eggle without having Eggle in hand.
So you don't
Maybe
know what he's
time
doing
to-
with the food.
we couldn't figure that out. We just know he's paying above market for it. They wouldn't let us into town. They kept us at the docks the whole time.
That's unusual here.
Even
They
after
had
we
a-
offered to buy stuff, we
They
were
had the
still told
merchant
no.
come to meet me out front.
There's something more that he's hiding than in town.
What's big enough that they'd want to keep people out of town and need all that food to feed?
A dragon.
For God, if they have a dragon just sitting around in the middle
Oh
of
god,
their
that
town.
makes so much fucking sense too. Of having all this money, they need all this food. Oh god, and dragons are in Norse mythology. By
You can
Fat
suggest that if you'd
Peter.
like to.
Have you seen any dragons recently?
You ask him that?
I mean, what else? Is he stockpiling or is he feeding something? What eats a lot?
I don't know. But
An
it's
army?
something.
I don't think an army.
There aren't,
Hold on, I don't
unless they're all
Fafnir.
just staying inside the village, there aren't many there. And we haven't seen any large new arrivals, any hosts or anything.
What if they came from the hills and the mountains?
It's possible, but again, it would have to be at like double their population. Another whole several thousand.
I mean, I'm trying to learn about anything about dragons in Norse mythology.
Okay. Well, why don't you can make a skill check if you want to learn some things about mythical creatures that may be related to this.
What about a mythical creature perhaps that he's feeding and can also make gold or has a lot of gold?
Yep.
Which reminds me, I found the help rules in the skills description.
Oh.
They were
If you have
buried.
the skill, you can add +1 to the rank of the person rolling.
Excellent.
Oh. How big of a scorn poll could we make?
Okay, so why don't I think this will be Arcana. There's nothing specifically, but yeah, a magical creature is what this would be. So I'd say that's probably an Arcana check. And for something like this probably would be mental. Because you're like, how likely is it
boy.
that there's a creature like that present?
Well,
So
I
any
have a rank in Arcana I can help with.
Yes!
I have
Is Arcana a
two if you
skill? I
wanna
only
do
see-
that.
Lore, it's
Yeah.
called Lore Arcana.
Oh, lore
Yep,
Arcana.
I have it as well.
Okay, how about the two people that have it at 1 help? You said you had it at 2, right, Marissa?
I do, yeah.
You two help her because we're
got
kind of all
one.
brainstorming.
I got one.
I don't have it.
And by the way,
any of it.
the Norn can limit the amount of people helping.
In this case, I think all of you can help.
I got 3.
But you're not all making different checks. You're just providing one. It's that would be a group
Yeah.
check if you all pulled runes. Only one person pulls runes, but they get just +1 bonus per person helping.
Yeah, it's basically you say something like, "No, those have been dead for millennia," and then we move
Well-
on to the next creature
well, 'cause-
suggestion.
You
Well,
choose
this would
two
be about all
spiritual,
of
right?
them.
And then 2 people are helping you.
So 3, that would
Oh,
bring it
I
up
didn't
to
realize
5 then.
Marissa was making the check.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
5.
I
What
have
type
2
of-
in the skill, I have a 1 mental rune, and then I have 2 people helping me, so 5.
Perfect. Okay. So, here we are. You suspect this is likely at least not a dragon or a mythical creature you have heard about. Most of the creatures now have been either are kind of on a rampage due to Ragnarok or being recruited and tamed, sometimes by force, by one of the two sides. if there is such a creature, dragon or otherwise, just in town, without it rampaging around town, it's not impossible. It would be exceptionally difficult, and there's no way you wouldn't have heard about it. If a dragon roared, you would hear it from here.
All right, relay the information.
Yep.
Not a
No.
big magical monster.
It's not a magical monster.
Okay.
Which
Yeah,
is
I mean,
you guys have had
that was
enough.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah, you guys have had enough magical monsters already.
Big mole man army is still high on the possibility list.
Mm.
Okay.
There's plenty of lava tunnels in Iceland. It's not out of the question.
Scalagrim sighs and says, if we need more information, then I think which can you make yourself look like my son?
I can, but in all of our plans, we either need Egil, or his sudden appearance would ruin them. Shouldn't we get him first?
That's why I'm here. Gestures
Waiting
to the
in the
road.
road?
Egil is expected back soon, if he was honest.
Then rather than standing here and staring and hoping, why don't we go find him? Tracking Egil, Part 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
I'm needed
I've
here.
done it once.
I can't leave my village right now. If I just left, even if it was for my son, and anything happened, we'd start to collapse. You need to go get him.
I
We
can do
can
that.
go get him, but you're not doing any good standing in the road staring after. Why not go do something useful and just keep hoping?
He looks at you with a mixture of respect and scorn.
Don't touch our scrumple shit.
If there was a horse left in this town.
And he
Don't be
says,
using my goat.
See, this is why you don't have a fixed house. Then they can't scorn pull you as easily.
Ah, vagrancy. The counter to scornfuls.
yeah. They can't curse your home if you don't have one. He says, you would be wise to watch your words around your hosts. I have been doing this for a very long time. I know when I'm needed. Go make sure my son is true to his word and bring him back. We need to discuss the next steps.
I know his scent well.
And he turns and strides past you all into the village. Is there anything you say to him or do in general before you leave?
There's not much to do. Is the
Check on the goat.
Yeah.
The
That's
goat.
Check on the goat.
The goat is cold, but fine. Not dangerously cold.
Bring this goat a blanket.
I give him some rubbies and a blanket.
Okay. Yeah, no one has eaten the goat at this point.
Alright, I know his scent. We'll find him. Too bad there's no cheese curds because he is lactose intolerant, as we specified last season.
Yep, that's the thing about troll blood.
That's why they don't have it in the troll town.
Yeah. How dare you bring up cheese curds?
Alright, I'll turn into a big wolf and track him down.
Alright, perfect. I don't think we even need a skill check here.
Okay.
As you continue down the road, you see him about an hour down, an hour out of the village. It's like 4 hours, maybe a bit less, to Borgerfjord. So partway down the road, you see a large figure holding a torch, walking, trying to protect it from the wind, walking through the... No, it's not a snowstorm, but it's never exactly... there is some wind. Yeah, you see him in the distance, and if you have a torch, he sees and recognizes you. When it is appropriate, he calls and says, "Did my father send you to babysit me?"
Yeah,
No,
you guessed it. I don't know what you
What?
expected here.
Just that you were expected back, and making sure you
Being
weren't
such a damn
captured.
baby, and we wouldn't have to do it.
Remember our breathing techniques we did it before?
Yeah. And as you and Eagle approach each other, you see that he is, for him, calmer. There's a measure of wariness now in his eyes. And he says, "After getting my father's blessing was more difficult than wrestling a bear. I managed it. And with it, I wanted to see how difficult it would be if we were to strike back against this." He gives you all a look with like,
You see something you liked.
Yeah. And he says, "They're building defenses, reinforcing the palisades around the town, building towers and more palisades around the farms. They're preparing for war. If we are to do anything now, if we are to do anything now, or if we are to do anything and have any chance of getting food back, it must be now. By tomorrow at the latest. They're nearly finished the constructions."
There's something else going on here. I don't think they would do all of this just to go to war. There's something else happening.
maybe
They
not go to war, but to defend.
have more food than they need. They are taking more food than they have. And they are ready to kill any who would take it from them.
Or they are preparing for a siege.
From whom?
That's a good question.
How about from those whose food they're taking?
We are
But
not
that seems-
enough to siege them. They are more in number than us. There's usually a larger army or some
there not-
other force.
Other towns around here?
There are, but not
Has
too close.
Has your father said anything about other towns also having this problem?
Not to me. I didn't ask.
Anyone from across the island making a long march? Nothing like that.
We can go seek them out, ask for their help, find more information. Most of the people we cannot even spare in Borg. I think they're already struggling with as many men as they have hunting. Though it's more a matter of there's not enough food. The number of hunters doesn't matter. There's not enough to hunt.
Perhaps what we should do is go to the other towns asking for aid until the all thing, to where we can all come together and question. I think just having an assault with how many soldiers do we have at Borg?
Less every day. That's why the food is such a problem.
We might have to come together with other towns in order to fight another day.
So we either come against and fight Barker Fjord now, or we bring him you, or your head on a pike.
What?
That'll get us to the table.
They did notice you.
Yeah, they have an arrest warrant.
Well, not the arrest warrant. They just, you know, that guy is
crime.
Arn
the guy is still
still
mad.
holds a grudge.
Yes, he's big mad, bro.
If we go to the other villages and they refuse our aid, or they refuse to aid us, we'll return empty-handed, and more of our people will, and some of our people will begin to die. I still think we need some food now. And the only way I see for that is one raid before the defenses are built. Maybe we can sabotage them while we're there, but that is not the priority.
That puts us on the back foot for any future negotiation to this matter. Because anything we say can be countered with, but you burnt down our farms.
I don't want to burn the farms, just the defenses.
Well, they will lie about what you do to make their point. You lose the credibility
If that is the
strike
case,
first.
then there is no point in dealing honestly with them at all.
If you at least let it be known to your other villages that they are over hunting, overfishing, and storing food for no reason, then you have allies across the island. If it comes to a fight, then you can siege. But if it's just Borg versus Borgafjord,
No. My father was once the ruler of Borgerfjord himself. He founded both the village and town. And then he gave it up. I called him a fool then. And now, with both towns separated, one is crumbling, and it's the one he's in. The problem, no matter what secrets he keeps, or reasons, the problem is Arn. What do you want to do to offer him me?
well, do you think he would honor your trial by combat?
If I requested it? The Arn I knew before would. But in the short time before I left, he grew cold. I don't know.
And if your life were to feed the people of this village, would you give it?
I don't think that's why he's hoarding food.
It's a bargaining chip. Even if we could get enough food to wait until the meeting thing.
Egil obviously looks like he is uncomfortable with that question, but he says, if you give me to him, and he has me, then what will make him keep his word?
That is the rub, as they say.
You could give him to me for some food immediately. That would delay things, maybe until the Althing. And then I would die as whether or not I'm willing. I don't think my father is.
I think, as we've stated before, you're a very good bargaining chip, Egil. I don't think we should pull you away for some food now. I think we need to use his want of you.
Arn's an enigma now. If I don't know him, like I fear, then we can't predict what he would do. How do we do that? How do we use it? You're, by now, as you're walking back, pretty close to the village, but not quite there.
We need to figure out what is going on inside of that town.
So, escort me into the town. Say, you come bringing a... Well, you are outsiders. Come bringing a gift. But again, you'd be throwing me away for information.
Or...
information that you don't know isn't... You don't know its value, either.
Or, what we do is we bring you in, and you escape.
I could do that. With some help.
Empty their bank accounts.
We figure out how... Oh, we would have told him, like, they're buying fish above market. Like,
you
we
told
fill
him
him
why
in
it's
too.
happening? Okay. Or how it's happening?
How it's happening, we don't know why. Right? I don't think they should have that much gold on hand just to constantly be doing that. We know the knight, there's something off with him. No offense, Wisdom.
I don't know. How is that offensive to me?
You know, countrymen or whatever.
What do you mean, you people?
He's definitely like season 1 Wisdom.
Ah, yes. All the characters say, "Oh, yes, that
when you
Wisdom."
first came to these lands, and not.
He's very much like
one.
Wisdom when he first came to these lands. Wisdom has grown and accepted some of our culture, but this what was his name? Because
I believe
this Martin was very much felt he was superior.
Marvin, rather, but yeah.
Marvin. There's the hooded person we don't know, who I assume is at Arn's ear. We don't know anything about them. I assume they're an alchemist of some sort.
Or gold smith.
So
I don't know. Magic.
So what if we bring this guy out to Borgaford, with a contingent of some Borgians, like, guarding him. We use that to pull Arn and whoever would come with him out to a meeting outside the walls. And sit down and negotiate there. That tells us a couple of things. It gets us in front of Arn, and it tells us who he brings with him.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, that might be the best plan. Get him to leave that big tower he's building.
If we can.
I mean, the towers are being built around the farms. They're just small. Yeah, but Egil also mentioned he's reinforcing the main palisades around the town. But he himself is not residing in a Saruman-like tower.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yet. Now, the other thing is, does I keep forgetting people's names. Giant Dad.
Skelegrim.
Skelegrim.
Does Skelegrim, do we want to give him plausible deniability, or does he want to be like, yeah, sure, let's negotiate with my son? Like, how does Skelegrim want to play into this?
Are you asking the other PCs or asking me?
I guess it could be the other PCs and
Egil.
Like, do we want to give your dad plausible deniability? And we'll probably ask him too. Like, if this is the plan we're going with, how do we want to make it like it's just a bunch of people from Bjorg ended up catching you? Or
normally, I would say Arn would never believe that my father had a change of heart. But if it is known that I returned I can exacerbate my father and I's conflict.
We can coach it another way. Have your brother bring you. Skelligrim doesn't know. That way Borg is not put in a submissive position. It's a group of people who were tired of the nonsense.
That would work. That would work. Well, do you want to talk to my father or my brother about this? They're probably not in the same place.
Both.
I meant you talk to one, I'd talk to the other.
Oh.
Do you want to talk with your dad or your brother? Which one would you rather talk to?
Like player level, I think we would get the point across to Skelligrim better than Egil would.
Better than Egil?
Okay. So yeah, he'll go talk to his brother.
So before we, team break, what is our exit strategy if this goes wrong?
Well,
Kill
we're outside
Egil.
the town, so our two options are kill Arn there, then in there, or run.
What
or
if
both.
Arn doesn't come? What if it's the night?
Time to mount up on your ram.
Time for Egil to mount up on me. I'm horse-sized.
Egil is large for a person, but he is not Skelligrim's size. Skelligrim is too big to ride you. Egil is too big to comfortably ride you.
I mean, if I could just yeet him out of there, that's all we really need, right?
Yeah.
Well, if the
Exactly.
night comes, we have a standing agreement.
Yeah, you could duel him.
Yeah. You can delay the night if it really comes down to it.
Okay. So, yeah, it'll basically be, if Arn's there, run no matter what. If Arn's there, try to kill him. If the knight's there, try to delay them. And if the stranger's there, figure out who they are.
Figure out what the stranger is.
And then score them if necessary.
Yeah, worst case, we got scorn poles. We know exactly what
I want to bring 2 torchbearers with us that are in the woods just with the scorn poles ready to set them up and go. That way we can, tap the scorn poles on the way out.
I don't even... We might as well start with the scorn poles. If they don't know about it, it can't hurt to already have them in place.
You could scorn pole them.
We could scorn them first.
Put a big burlap sack over the scorn pole and have a pull string that we can rip it.
Okay.
Might make it a little obvious that we're scorn poling them, but yeah.
Let me paint a smiley face on them or something.
Yes, no one would see through that. Or flag. Actually, a flag that's in front of the pole, and then you rip the flag off, and the poles there would actually work.
I just want a covert number of people going around setting up scorn poles. We're going to call them Scorn Team 6.
So, you guys go to talk to Skelligrim's house.
Yeah, we'll talk to Skelligrim about our plan.
We'll check it on the scorn pole supplies this town has prepared.
Yep. This time there's no guard.
How do you not have scorn pole supplies?
Yeah.
They ate the horses.
I think, well, no, there would be a guard, especially after the attack last night. So the guard sees you coming and lets Skelligrim know that you were here. Of course, the house itself was larger than the rest, as expected, but even the door itself has been built in this house to fit him. So everything is basically twice as big as normal. And he lets you inside, and there you definitely see the almost Alice in Wonderland kind of he's sitting on a chair that's built for him. Most of the chairs are they're specific guest chairs for a normal-sized person as well, but it's definitely a weird feeling, especially with things like the table is up to your chin when you're sitting and things like that. Lord, it's just halfway in between. It's built for his height and built for your height.
Are there middle-sized chairs for Egil?
There are not.
Oh.
Are there any other large chairs at all? Does he get guests from extended family or any of that?
There are a few. Yes, there are a few larger chairs. There are fewer guest chairs, I think.
Don't have me in town when they come visiting.
And
When your mother-in-law comes, you better have a chair for her. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Skalgrim seems to live alone.
Especially if they can't fit in a normal chair.
Yeah, he sits down. And he does the, like, kind of sigh when he sits that someone who is beginning to age, like his old bones, even though he isn't that old, he's in his 50s.
He's basically got like giantism, right? Like
Exactly.
He's like Andre the Giant.
Exactly. So he sighs and invites you all to sit. Of course, there's no food here, unless I think he'd ask one of the guards if you want. They can fetch you some bowls of soup. But other than that, he cannot offer you anything, and so I take it you found my son.
We both found your son, and to come up with a plan to enact swift resolutions to this problem.
Well, let's first fill him in on the defensive situation.
They're building towers around the towers and fortifying. It does seem they're preparing for a siege. Hopefully not from us.
I think from something else.
I just need to speak to Arn, then I can try to find out what he knows. What isn't he telling?
That is our plan.
Good. And you fill him in on the idea?
Yeah.
Basically, with the idea of basically like there's only one thing that's going to pull Arn out of that town, and that's your son.
Yeah. And if he doesn't get pulled out of that town, then we run. And I mean, we're still probably not going to give Egil over, right? It's just pull him out, have a conversation with him, and if he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, we kill him there.
That still is dangerous.
Everything weird.
And you want me to just sit back and wait?
It gives you deniability at the original all thing.
It also means that I will not be able to. You will not be able to speak with any authority. I know Arn. I as good as raised him. He is almost another son to me. I just need to see him.
But at this point, Borg cannot be made to look weak. Going there with your hat in hand would have that effect.
That is why your other son will come with us. He can speak with authority.
If this goes wrong, both of my children will die. Killed. You expect me to just sit by and watch? Or not even? Just wait? Like a widow? Someone whose spouse is out raiding?
We'll get a bird. We'll send a raven as soon as anything happens.
If anything goes wrong, I can turn in. You've seen what I can do. I could probably get Egil out. I could for sure get your other son out very quickly.
We came upon you earlier this night, sitting and watching and waiting. If your son is not given up in this manner, you'll lose your entire town, not just your two children. You said you could do what was needed before. Do it now.
Give us a little bit of trust. Good, Skalagrim.
And lay in wait. If this goes poorly, you will have a warrior's death sieging the walls.
You could rally all of the other villages.
He is gripping his, you can see his large hands are tightly gripping his armchair as he considers this. Finally, he says, then swear to me that both of my sons will come out unharmed.
I can say alive.
Yeah, alive.
Yeah.
Very well.
When you swear an oath mechanically, you have to be very specific.
Yep, alive.
I already have an oath going on.
Swear with your lives.
I can do it.
I think Asdis, because this is the same person, you can override your previous oath and make a new one over this one. I'm considering allowing just the overriding of oaths, but because you're not abandoning one. Your previous one necessarily.
Is a group oath a thing, like as a secondary option?
Yeah.
We can make it a thing.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm good with that.
I think we can do a group oath that we will do our best to. We will, to the best of our ability, prevent any and all harm to come to the two sons of Scaligrim.
He wants specifically that
they'll come out alive.
They'll come out alive unless you don't. Like you will die before they die.
I'm down.
Like
I can do that.
I'll
make that oath myself because I got a free oath.
I don't want to die for
Egil.
For Egil. You're not the strongest man from Wessex if you are the deadest man in Iceland.
Now let us talk to you about our Scorn Bowl plan for in case things go bad.
Who is making this oath?
I'll do it because I got a free one. I could just make it to him.
Asdis.
I could for sure get one of them out if I could turn into a wolf.
I don't know. If we're doing a group oath, maybe, but I don't think I'm going to override an oath here. Even if my old one isn't that useful at this point. I don't.
You don't want to make this oath?
No. To me, it's not interesting or achievable if things go poorly enough.
So, if only one of you makes the oath, then I think he is without... I think you'd need to convince him to go through with this with both of his sons.
Like one's in any real danger.
I think it might just be a general bloodbath is what he's worried about if this goes badly.
Yeah.
It's not exactly his decision, it's theirs, isn't it?
You tell that to an overprotective troll father.
Yeah, Dad, listen, I'm 18. You don't have any control over me anymore.
I could throw you out the window, kid.
Make two more that look just like it.
But yeah,
he
says, I appreciate the oath, but if none of you are willing to, if not all of you are willing to swear it.
I'm willing to do my duty and keep this whole thing working. But also, they are grown troll people. They can make their own decisions as to whether or not they enter into this agreement and this strategy.
The lives of the entirety of this village are more important than making 100% sure of the lives of your son.
The needs of the many.
Okay, I have written my oath that I have just sworn.
Asdis or Wisdom, one of you can help the other, your choice, and one of you can make a verbal manipulation check.
I don't have this.
I don't have this. If it's mental, my void rune is mental.
It is, in this case, I think mental. This is, don't get emotional, think logically about this. So I think this is more mental than spiritual.
Then I think I probably have a slightly better chance here.
Yeah, I don't have the skill for it, but my tack would be if the gods will it, they will come out alive. Who are you to?
That is a tactic. It would switch it from mental to spiritual.
Well, I'm gonna try that. We'll do 2 tests.
Okay, group check between both of you.
Spiritual route, and then
it would just be one check, but it would be a group check. But we'll be counting successes differently for each of you. It would be Asdis' mental and Wisdom's spiritual.
Okay.
That seems reasonable.
Because you're basically trying to get him to do the same thing, just each of you are using different tactics.
Yeah, think logically, believe in your systems.
But also nothing matters because the gods preordained everything, so, you know.
Yeah.
If your sons will die, then there's nothing.
YOLO. Do it.
Yeah.
Specifically not YOLO. You live in Valhalla.
Well, apparently I should have gone the spiritual route because I got 2 spiritual runes and 1 mental. But
And your void's
Yeah.
mental, or that includes that?
my void is the one mental there.
So you get
So
1
what?
success.
Wisdom.
I got green.
Green's good.
There we go.
How many
2.
greens?
1.
That's it.
Okay.
I draw 1 rune. It's
I wasn't
not-
sure what color your void rune was.
Oh, red.
Okay. Oh. That's not a full success. But that is a partial success. For the 2 between both of you. So, I think he says, if my sons will be there, then I will be there. If the fate of Borg hangs in the balance, I need to be there.
Got a big hat or something?
So this is when we tell him the wrong time of the meeting?
Oh, no, better idea. He's part of Scorn Team 6. He's by
Yeah?
the Scorn polls.
Fine, you lead score.
I mean-
So he's there if things go bad, so he can run
He's just
out
hiding in
after
the bushes?
Scornin'. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
totally
he
easy.
can have some of the hunters with him as, you know, a harrying group as we make a retreat or something.
Well, if you insist on coming,
He will
grab
agree
some of
to
your
that.
hunters. Yeah, make sure we
just
can
can't-
get out of there safely.
Like, if everything goes right, there's no need for him to come out. If everything goes bad, then he could come out,
Okay.
right? That's basically. Then we scorn. If everything goes bad, we just scorn as we leave.
I still say we should score them ahead of time so that we have the bad luck afflicting them as we do this parlay.
Do they need to know they've been scorned? Like, does it have to be visible?
I don't
Yeah.
No, it does not. Scorn poles are actually sometimes hidden. Or at least not the poles specifically, but yeah. They're often like hidden places.
Well, if we can do that, can we scorn the whole town? How big of a pole does one need to
Scorn poles have to be
Murder
set to individuals, and that, like, if you knew specifically where Arn's house was, you could scorn pole that, but you cannot scorn
Cool,
pole
yeah.
the whole town.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you know
But
who
can
we should
try to
scorn?
Ooh.
Because we don't know where Arn. Well, I mean, we could probably get pointed to like Arn's house is right there, right? But the knight isn't the knight living with Arn.
Oh,
He
God.
is. Didn't he point out to where his house is? Yeah, over
If
there.
we could point out, because we only need the scorning to work if things go bad. Things go
Well-
bad partially if the knight comes out. Also, it helps you in your future duel.
Yeah, I was thinking like use every tool
We
at my
scorn the
disposal.
knight because
Yeah.
that's what we need if things go bad. Is the
Yeah.
knight to fuck up?
Yeah, looking at my
But mechanically,
toolkit.
what does a scorn pole do again?
It gives
Okay.
them.
Well,
Hold on, I
we
had it.
all have the skill for some reason. I better do something.
The person will suffer +1 difficulty on all skill checks while under the influence of this curse. Difficulty rating will increase by +1 for every 2 extra successes. The default difficulty for creating a scorn pole is moderate, so 2.
So
But is augmented to hard due to the modifier. They
It will
know
not-
something is amiss once their fortune turns sour.
it will not hurt in it will not make it easier to defeat him in combat. It will make it easier to do things like deceive him or things like that.
Yeah,
All of
it's
it.
better for the talks if we scorn.
Well, then, do we want to scorn Arn?
Yeah,
You
I think we
I'm
do at
sort of-
nighttime. I think a nighttime scored mission.
I mean, it's technically always
Is-
nighttime, but I know what you mean.
And if they
Is there
find
now
any
it's-
score
Text about
pole-
multiple scorn poles pointed at the same person.
Not that I saw
No,
the
and I
text.
don't think they would stack.
Okay.
It would just be the
I'm
highest
just wondering
one.
if you're at cross purposes with someone, like if you and someone else that hates the other guy are both scorning, which scorning?
Whoever
wins?
scorn pole is better. is the
Whoever
one that-
scorns harder.
Well, whoever
Yeah.
has the longer pole.
Oh,
okay, we'll take
wait,
that as
how much scorn pole supplies do we have?
Scored pole measuring contest.
I think you
How-
just
how
had
much-
one, I thought.
I thought we had 2.
One.
We have at least one. It depends
Yeah,
on
we
how
have
many
at
red
least one
horses were in that
salted-
first village.
Yeah, we have at least one salted horse head.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a
How many
thing.
How else
horses
are
were
we
in
gonna
that
keep
first
it
village?
fresh? How else are we gonna keep it fresh?
There were 2 dead horses.
In which
we
case,
have
we
two.
So we have two salted
So we
horse
can
heads.
scorn Arn and we can scorn the knight because probably the knight's one of the dudes that's coming out anyway.
Yeah.
And I feel like we don't know enough about the hooded stranger to be able to score.
Yeah, we don't know their
We don't
We
name.
have
don't know his
names
name,
enough
and I think that's needed.
Oh wait, no, I'm wrong. Oh no, there are two. They're not near each other. I'm literally looking at the map. There were two horses.
Yeah, we got two scorn poles. We could do this.
But yeah, hide the Scorn Poles, hide Scalagrim. Honestly, if either the Scorn Poles or Scalagrim are found before we want them to, the whole entire diplomatic mission goes down the toilet.
Yeah, the whole thing's kind of
Put them
a
together.
mood. Yeah, the whole like we're just trying to talk goes out the window, and they see the big stick with a horse head on it.
Well, they don't need to see it. It just needs to be hidden.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
hide
you're
them in the
right.
village.
They
Hidden
don't
in the
need
forest
to,
of
but,
Scalagrim.
but if they do,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
They
if they
won't
see
know until
Scalagrim
they're-
too, as
yeah.
we're saying, hey, he knows nothing about this, we're also missed. So
Typically, it is placed outside of a person's home. The closer it is to someone's home, the more powerful it is. That's not in the skill description. I think that's just in like what it hails
it
from in real
normally
life.
is.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you'd like
well,
hide
the
it just
solution-
off of someone's property facing their house or something like that.
Yeah, the funny thing to do, not funny, but the cinematic thing to do, we put it outside, like up on a hill or something that they could see from their window, but like only if they're really paying attention to it. It's like, oh,
I mean,
that
it's
horse
dark
head-
outside, so it's
yeah, that horse head's looking at me,
yep.
and you don't notice till like 2 days later or something. I think that's the move. Not like hidden in the bush, but like hidden is it's in an unnoticeable weird spot, but still like looking in their bathroom. But it's a scored pole.
Yeah.
we've got a lot of sharpened stakes on the palisade, but I have no idea how we're going to get a horse head over there.
We just
No.
scale the palisade and lash a scorn pole to one of the spikes.
That'd get found very quickly, though.
Yeah.
I think hiding is probably more likely if we want it to actually work.
So,
Actually work.
do you sleep tonight, or do
No.
you stay up all
Scorn,
night?
scorn,
making-
scorn.
I see.
We scored him.
We all have this skill for no.
I don't have
apparent
it, but
reason.
I will find spots that you could put scorn poles.
Yeah.
I don't have it either, but it just sounds like fun.
So, I think we want 2 different scorn pull checks, one for each of your targets.
Okay.
And we also, if you're hiding them in this way, you would also want a sneak check.
I got sneak.
Power
Now,
check.
So the wolf's in charge of sneaking.
How does a potion of camouflage work for stealthing scorn poles?
Can you pour?
I don't
a
think it would
potion
help in this
on-
case.
on a
Okay.
scorn pole?
No, you'd have to drink the potion. It would help you sneak somewhere, but not for you to sneak the scorn pole somewhere.
Okay. I think
Um,
I think I'd want to make 2 separate checks. I want to hide them, and I want to trap them also because I have hunting and trapping.
Oh, okay. Let's have them created first.
Yeah, create them first. then
So
we'll
2
go from
checks,
there.
and of course the 3 of you. I think Zen, your character also has the scorn pull skill. No,
Nope.
okay. Then just each of you
Who
make a
has the
check.
scorn pole
Only
skill?
Wisdom has the scorn pole skill.
Wait,
Oh.
really? Is it just
Wisdom.
me? Is it just me? The scorn pole?
Apparently.
I thought we had
issue
We're all
because
on
it's
board
at
with the
least-
idea, but we have no idea how to do it.
Difficulty is at least a 3.
I thought it was at least a 2.
It's +2.
Yeah.
Is it +2?
It's difficulty +2, so it starts. All checks are by default difficulty 1. So it'll be difficulty 3 to do. So it'll be difficult. Now remember, this might be the first time we see testing of fate or Loki's bargain come into play.
Because you could weird another one.
You can get extra weirds.
Oh wait, but so you have 1 in the skill, right?
2.
2 in the
You have
skill
2
is
in the skill?
excellent. You just need 1 green rune.
Jeez,
I'm real
dude.
good at scorn poles. It's my only skill with 2.
You need 1 green rune in order to get this. And also you weird 1, and your physical rune that you have for void doesn't help. Once per session, you may call in your oath to draw an additional rune during a weird that is relevant to it, which I think it
Do
is
that
here
for
because of
Do that
your
for the
knight.
Do that for the night.
What was the flashback thing we were
Oh.
talking about?
We do not have a
Also-
flashback thing, I think.
No.
We do have a Loki's bargain, which is if you are open to a secondary complication or consequence, you can also weird another rune.
Also, if he draws another red rune, he can trade that and his void rune in for the green one. He needs.
True.
Yeah. Yeah, so the first one I do is I find a hill outside the palisade walls that's pointing at the big house where Dune is, because he's top of the list.
Okay.
I need a green
Question.
rune? Yes.
Real quick. So my void rune is set to Yggdrasil's presence. It has an out-of-combat effect of augmenting the magical output of anyone affected.
You want to...
And it says spells have a greater effect.
Ooh, and Scornpole is a spell.
It's a rune spell.
So yeah,
Oh, it is?
it's Rune Scornpole.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
That's why
So you want
I-
a supercharge. Okay, I think that would give a +1 bonus. Not even a thing, just a +1 bonus. Not a +1 weird. So you will succeed on this. Now it's a level of how. Do you want to invoke your oath if you're using it against the knight?
the first one's from a Dune.
For Arn? Okay.
Arn.
Sorry, not a Dune.
Do
Don't
you
scorn
want
me.
to
Yeah.
either...
Scorn the werewolf.
Do you want a Loki's bargain, or do you want to spend glory to get extra pulls?
I'm not spending any glory, but yeah, I'll listen to a bargain. Give me the mischief god's bargain.
I think in this case, God, I think this secondary consequence is my first devil's bargain for this game. First thing I can think of is if the scorn pull is temporary, it will last for the meeting, but it will not last past that. But you'll get to pull an extra one. And I think part of that is it could be the magic wearing off. It could be specifically where you're placing it. It'll inevitably fall down because the ground is shallow and not a great place to dig it in, but it won't be found, and it will face his house.
Yeah, I'm fine sticking the scorn pole in a wet bog or something. Being like, it's hiding in the muck. It'll fall down eventually, but until it does, we're good to go. I
Okay.
can take that.
Yeah, so it'll
Temporary scorning.
temporary scorning, but you get an extra pull, so you get to pull two
Alright.
runes.
Oh, weird twice. That's green for the first one.
Nice.
And that's green for the second one.
So that upgrades the level
Nice.
of it, because every 2 extra successes increases the difficulty rating. So
5 successes total.
Arn now has +2 difficulty on all checks that he will make during the meeting.
If he comes out, yeah.
If he comes
Yeah.
out.
Until it's destroyed, that he gets +2 difficulty.
If you're ever making a flat, if I ever ask you to make a flat check instead of a like opposed one, but it is against him, your difficulty will be reduced by 2. Remind me
Nice.
of that.
Yeah. So what else? And
I'll
now
put it-
it's to scorn the knight. I'm
Okay.
gonna scurry down to a little bit more solid ground because I don't know when this duel with the knight would be, and I want him feeling the pain for a bit before our fight.
Yep. Are you invoking your oath
Yes.
to get an extra
Yes.
pull?
You
Excellent.
will. It's written in the runes around it. It's like you will know the name who did this. Like you will know who made the scornful. It's the
Mhm.
whole thing. You will be recognized for this.
My
You'll know.
devil's bargain. Though he will
know.
not know any more details, the knight will know something is affecting him. That's all he will know.
Yes.
He will
That's
know
good.
some kind of magic is at play.
Some foul sorcery has befouled him.
Yeah, he does not know why, where, or anything like that, but the sense of unease and darkness will come over him.
All right.
You get an extra pull from that too.
So I'm gonna do the 2 polls, but this one I'm not going to include Runar in the mix of this scorn pull. I'm gonna wander off with the remaining horse head and be like, I'll be back. I'm setting up backup.
Okay.
I
You get two.
wander off.
You get 2 extra pulls because one is you're invoking your oath, and one is the Loki's bargain.
Yeah.
So you get 3 in total.
Nice.
All right.
You just need 1 green rune.
I got green, blue,
and then you get
blue.
You
That's
can
two
trade
blues,
in the 2
though.
blues
So I'm
for
trading
another
the- yeah,
green.
I'm trading the 2 blues for another green, so that's a 4.
4 successes. That is not enough to upgrade it because you need it's 3 successes for the base pole, and then the extra 1 unfortunately doesn't do anything because you need an extra 2 successes to upgrade the difficulty. But the knight still has +1 difficulty. The knight has been scorned, Sir Marvin. Scorned for +1 difficulty to all checks. You got it?
Yep.
Okay.
When he's laying on the flat of his back, you'll recognize who's done all of this.
Yes. Arn's scorn runs out after the meeting. Marvin's does not, but he can feel some kind of curse affecting him.
Was that Arn's scorn runs out after the meeting because of a devil's bargain?
Yes.
Or Loki's bargain?
Yeah.
So there's no use of me trying to hide it?
Well,
I
he
stuck it
might...
in the muck.
Yeah.
If the pole is in the muck, the pole's gonna fall over at
This
some
one
point.
stealth check will affect both of them.
Okay.
One
And
sneak
then-
check.
Would one hunting trapping check also affect both of them to like trap them?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
so.
All right, so let's do stealth first. That's probably physical, right?
And you don't know enough magic to read any of these runes, right?
No, I don't care.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
In this case,
Root our wood, and I don't want to know I'm fixing my fight with the knight.
if someone is
He'll
looking for...
undermine my authority.
Yeah. Sneak is physical. We won't know if it succeeds or fails until someone ever, would go looking for this. So we'll write down the result, and then later I'll make an opposed check against it at a future
Okay.
date. Do you want any kind of... Well, Elohi's bargain for hiding it would be anyone who goes looking for it, even if they don't find it, will find oversized wolf paw prints.
No, I don't think I'll take that for just sneaking.
'Kay.
So I'm gonna weird. I got 1, and my sneak is 1, so it's 2 total.
Okay, so sneak 2 to hide the scorn poles.
Okay, and then
And
hunting and trapping is what? It's physical or mental. What do I have?
I
more
think-
of?
I describe how you're doing it, but in this case, you are physically like setting up traps. That is
I
what
think-
I imagine.
I'm technically physically setting up the traps, but I'm being smart about my trap placement, right? So, like, I'm not gonna put like a patch of leaves right in front of it, obviously, right? I'm gonna do it to where they're harder to see, right? I'm gonna try and use more of like what's around me.
I think that's still physical. I think mental is more of the tracking is holds everything, but mental is more the perception part of hunting and trapping.
Okay.
If you're still doing a thing with your body, and I think that makes it physical.
All right. So physical again. Here we go. I'm gonna spend these 2 spirituals to make it a physical, and that makes it 2.
Okay.
So 2 successes is DF plus 5 P and conceal factor of 2.
Perfect. Of 2 to trap the scorn poles. And then, yeah, I'll write this in now. So,
So it's
perfect.
gonna be 5 damage to whoever gets trapped, and it's what does conceal factor mean? Like how
If
hard
you-
it is to see?
Yeah, they'll need that many successes to see it.
Okay, got it.
And there we go. You guys have stayed up all night working on your scorn poles. At least, Asdis, you didn't mention specifically being involved in this. Did you just, like, have a normal night's sleep while the others stayed up all night?
I was debating helping with the sneaking, but I don't think I was needed there. The other thing I was considering doing was having a talk with Egil, but I don't really have anything to say. I just noticed that it was a very different Egil coming back there, and I'm not sure I fully believe that he didn't do anything. I don't know. I don't
You can go.
yet as a player or as a character have what to say.
Do you want to make a sense motive check? from the extended conversation with him you had?
Sure, why not? While you go out and set up the sword poles, I'm sitting back in camp babysitting. Is basically what I'm doing. Okay, I have no idea which one sense motive is, but if it's mental, too.
Let me check for you, because I'm right around there. Sense motive is spiritual.
So 1?
Actually, still 2. I'll trade in my 2 mentals for
Oh yeah,
another.
yeah. Okay. So you're right. Aegel is definitely in a different mood. He is a lot calmer and he's now using his brain. You definitely would have to talk to him to know the details, but it seems that something that someone said finally got through to him. It could have been something that you or one of you as a group said to him that he just needed some time to think about. It could have been whatever the talk he had with his father. Now, he is not different. He is still reckless. You suspect that if it's more right now, his recklessness is sleeping. It's not gone. It's more. The thing that you get is that Aegel cannot just sit by and do nothing. So that's why he went out to scout this, because he could at least feel like he's doing something without actively going against his father. But you definitely need to keep him useful, keep him feeling useful. Otherwise, he's gonna get antsy and gonna start acting out again.
Classic Aegel.
Yep.
He can guard the goat for the night.
He can guard the goat.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he'll love that.
If he eats that goat, I eat him. That's the rules.
Morning.
While they're setting up the scorn poles, can I do a quick scan around the? We're close. We're pretty close to the village, right?
I would think so. Yeah.
We can see the house from our hillock.
I mean it's lit up with like torches and stuff.
Yeah. I want to do a quick scan on the gates and any other points of egress, and use my ride hoe rune and see if I can detect the presence of and type of any runic traps that are anywhere near there.
Okay. It specifies traps.
Yeah, it's the out of combat effect.
Okay.
Runic traps.
I will ask you for a perception skill check, not for the runic traps part, but for looking around and seeing what you can see.
Okay. I don't have that, and I'm guessing it's mental.
Yeah, it would be for this.
Or physical.
I assume you aren't physically getting too close. You're more just hanging back and seeing what you can see. I was under the impression.
Yeah.
So it would be mental.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's going to be a 1 because I can trade these in.
Okay. Trading is so useful for this.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't see any. There's no runic traps for sure. Everything you're seeing seems to, like, Aegel is not lying. You're seeing they're not working on it now. It's the middle of the night, but there are reinforcements being built to the palisade walls. There's additional towers being constructed just on the outskirts of these walls. They're sort of halfway through transforming it from basic palisades to a full-on wooden wall is what it seems like they're eventually going for. That is what you can see.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else before the dark morning arrives?
Like an hour nap.
I would like to, just in case, remind you of my bear's posture rune. That is, when you sense when someone is plotting against you, you get an omen that you must discern. Do I get any omens?
No.
Excellent. I think that's it.
Yeah, before we head out in the morning for whatever this shouting match across a field we're gonna embark on. I'm gonna do my omen checker, but we can.
All right. It's the same type of omen, bear's posture. Like
No, it's the Beckett Yggdrasil. Oh, I'm not trying to pull up. I've gone this far this week without pulling open the book, and this is the first time I need to go.
You get an insight into how the cosmic ash is faring. You can gaze upon the health of the world tree and get glimpses of earth-shattering events that may be occurring on one of the worlds that hangs on its branches or roots. Is that what you want to look at?
Yeah, I want to know if we broke anything.
You want to take some DMT and just sit there for 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's like, did we break it? Did we ruin everything?
How's Jotunheim doing? No. What about Niflheim? No, also bad. Helheim? Oh, very bad.
Ooh, that's someone's never been good.
Wisdom gets his own interdimensional cable episode.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Okay, hold on. I'm like, okay, what are some of the ideas for the other types of sagas that I never utilized because they were too, like, grand scale? Because that's what you're probably seeing.
I like to imagine it's like in Thor Ragnarok when he's stuck in the chair going through that, like this is the Grandmaster. At the end, he's like, Wisdom sitting in his chair.
It's knowing the final outcome and resultant of any action, but not knowing any of the moving pieces that were involved in the process. It's just looking at the tableau and being like, all right, we did something new. Did it change anything? Did anything change from the last thing we did?
Okay. In that case, I actually do have a specific idea. I will ask... Firstly, I will describe a thing. Then I will ask you to make a lore personas check.
Okay.
Personas?
Yes.
Yep.
Because as you peer through the veil of time as it is lifted for a time, you see Islandia is embroiled in war and conflict sometime in the future. You see that it is... you see enormous armies clash and tens of thousands lay dying. And you see it slowly descend into a wintry wasteland, eventually ending up in marauding bands of the sole survivors and their children and children's children.
So it's a black metal music video.
Yes. Please make a lore personas check to recognize some of the armies in the initial clashes.
All right, I weirded a green, and I have one in lore persona.
Okay. I think it would be blue here, but I'll check if it specifies if it's always green.
I will check. Lore. Oh, I'm on active powers, that's why. Lore personas is mental.
It is blue. Okay. And you have one skill in this. You get level 1.
Yeah, I have one skill in lore persona.
Okay. I think that's still enough. You recognize something is familiar about some of the armies. You recognize several different... I mean, they don't have banners like you would in England, but effectively the colors and the icons on their shields and similar things like that. They're from all over what you would call, what the people here call Midgard. They're from, like, different armies have come from other places of the world and are clashing here. Yes, you don't recognize any specifics, but you've seen them before, and you have not been to Iceland before, so you must have seen them elsewhere.
I've seen the hawk on the red field, and I've seen the golden lion on the the golden lion on the blue backdrop with sheep. I've seen these before.
Yeah, you know you've seen them before. You know they're not local, but you don't remember specifically.
Yeah, so we just get the commercial break cut of Wisdom waking, like, eyes opening in a cold sweat, being like, oh, maybe we should get inside the walls.
These guys have the right idea
We're on the wrong side of this. Yeah, basically we're on the wrong side of the walls is the takeaway.
That's fair. Do you tell anyone about your nightmare? I assume everyone, when you're having your nap, everyone else is asleep as well.
Yeah, I basically just wake up and say war is coming, and then all right.
Welcome to Ragnarok.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like,
kind of a wonder.
Like we need to get a wrap on the situation here.
We need to extend their walls around the entire island, is what you're saying.
It's like we need to get
sort of like the entire world needs a suit of armor.
Yeah. Things are bad.
A suit of armor around the world, if you will.
Yeah, it's war is coming is the tenor of our morning meeting before we head out on our diplomatic mission.
Yes.
Will not stem the tide of war. We have to get on the inside of these walls.
Let's go to a break. I think now is the perfect time. And then when we come back, we'll see how that meeting goes.
Yeah.
In part 2.
Nice.
Welcome back. Part 2, episode 6.
Part two of season 3, episode 3.
Also known as episode 6. A Fate of the Norns Ragnarok. This is Borg's Saga. So,
Are we calling it Borg's Saga?
it's on the... Yeah, Borg's Saga is what it has become after we finished with Egil's Saga. Borg is the name of the village.
Is there a Borg?
There is not an enormous cube, no.
It's the chef in the village.
We should build a statue to Borg. Put it in the middle of town when we win here.
When we win, we will give them a new god to worship. Worship the cube.
The cube. I thought this was not a dice-based role-playing game.
That's how they survive the oncoming slot. They get into the Borg cube. They build around the town.
I love how your captioner is capitalizing Borg. It's recognizing that. It's great. Or it didn't that time.
No, say Borg.
There we go.
Yeah. Borg cube. Yeah.
So
right,
we see in front the wooden walls in front of the town
I think
of Borgerfjord.
camera zooms through horse eyes to the wooden walls
Oh yeah,
of the town.
We just see it on the side and then it moves past it. And a group of you, maybe 6 people, plus you 4, plus
6 more shadows in the back.
Yeah.
We have Egil on the cart
One
now.
shadow.
Egil is bound, and leading him directly is Thorolf, who's like doing his best to push his foot and a half taller than him brother forcefully. But yeah, he's probably leading him in chains.
Egil looking a little drugged, so if this is any kind of plausible.
I mean, there's like 11 people. Yeah, you could have gotten him drunk if you wanted to.
No, they're just wrangling him like a circus bear all the way.
Yeah, just poke him.
I mean, I think more effective than getting Egil drunk is like splashing beer on his tunic.
Yeah, making him look drunk.
Make him seem drunk.
Make him like if he smells drunk, it'll help sell it better. But if he doesn't actually need to be drunk.
No, I don't think getting him the hothead drunk is any kind of a good idea.
We feed him some goat cheese so he looks real sick.
I don't think you want that interrupting that meeting.
Just large the whole time.
The palisades are in front of you. There is a closed gate, and behind it, a tall wooden tower, a watchtower just behind the wall. A guard from the watchtower says, "What's this then? Why do you approach?"
We've brought Egil. We are requesting the, check-in.
We wish to set terms for the surrender.
Surrender? Says the guard.
Egil
Oh,
surrender.
Egil is turning himself in.
There's a pause where it's obvious that the guard is suspicious of this, and Thorolf says, well, he's no longer welcome in Borg after his return, so we've brought him here. My brother has wasted enough of my father's time. And I thought he's, to you, obviously he's playing the, like, I'm sick of my brother role. We brought him here to you. Maybe he can be better use to your Jarl. Let me get him. The guard calls to another guard. He's not going to abandon his post. And they have you wait outside while they send a message to Arn. Do you do anything while waiting? Just checking. As it'll be a bit.
Sit
I mean,
down, play a card game. I don't know.
Keeping my eyes and ears out.
Set up a little tent with like a table, you know, just a place to sit and have a meeting.
Yeah,
I'd
we
probably
sharpen
rather
our
not.
dual discs.
Dual discs.
Sharpen them. Just
You're like a
Pull out
whetstone.
my Beyblade and wait for the.
I still contend anybody walking into one of those games with a gun just automatically wins and walks
Oh
out
no,
with
but
another
that
deck.
happens when they go in.
so after several minutes, eventually, stepping onto the part of the wall of the palisades themselves, it looks like, you see a man. He is clearly in command. You can see he has a similar badge that Skallagrim has on his cloak. He steps up from some stairs that you can assume are there when the palisades onto the top of the wall. He doesn't say anything. He just looks at everything. Thorolf says, Arn, it's been too long. I figured it's time we made peace. And make things right, he says, sort of roughly patting his brother. Come on out. We should talk. The man still takes a while to speak. He's still measuring all of this up. And then he says, with his -2 to all of his skill checks, I think he says, it's been too long, Thorolf. Indeed. I see you brought... Is that really you, Egil? Couldn't ever face me yourself? Egil is, like, trying to bite his lip just to seem like the cowed prisoner. But he still stares daggers at Arn, who coldly returns his stare. This is what Arn looks like, and I will also switch us on roll 20.
Arn the Bodverson.
I thought he'd be older.
No, remember, he was raised like another son to Skallagrim, so he's about a similar age.
So the same age as Egil.
Yeah, very similar.
These guys are brothers,
How
basically?
is he in height?
Not biological
No,
brothers,
yeah.
but...
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
how is he in height compared to Egil? Is
Oh,
he
he's a normal
also-
human size. So, he says, if you want to meet, fine. Come inside.
Actually, can we do it in the field?
Against my better judgment. Fine. He talks to some of his guards. You can't hear what he's saying, but several of them take position on the palisade in case anything goes wrong. So
That seems
there's
fair.
maybe like half a dozen. It's not a whole. It's not like everyone's there, but a few that were.
The arrows
to
will
spare.
not blot out the sun.
No.
The sun has been eaten by a wolf. We're fine.
Yeah.
True.
It's all uphill.
They opened the gates for him to step out, and they didn't come up the stairs, but you do see him accompanied on either side by The knight Sir Marvin and a stranger wearing a black cloak and a bronze mask.
A bronze mask.
Ooh, can I Lord Persona the bronze mask?
Let me double check if it's bronze or brass. That might be mine.
Gentleman in the
It is.
shiny
It is
armor.
bronze.
Waterdeep here.
It is bronze.
Yeah.
This is what they look like.
What?
Yes.
The
It
fuck?
is one
Yes,
of the mass boards of
it's
Waterdeep.
Yes. No, it's from Paizo, not Lord.
I see the piezo.
Oh, it's not Lords of Waterdeep. It's someone else. Is it a Rune Lord?
Um.
Wait,
Additionally,
can I roll Persona?
there are 4 more guards alongside him.
Can I Lord Persona the man in the gold mask?
Sure. Yes,
Yeah,
it will
I've
be.
heard of-
They're actively hiding their identity, but they are
Well,
doing it in a
it-
unique way.
I'm saying if I have heard of the gold mask before,
Sure.
like of people acting and dressing this way.
Yes. Bronze mask, but yes, it's polished bronze.
Bronze, the shiny
Yes.
bronze mask. Yeah.
Make a lore persona. This will be quite difficult. Let me, before I say for sure, it's gonna be like 4 or 5, and I'm gonna. No, it's gonna be it's gonna be very difficult.
I can't do 4.
Skill checks, difficulty. Where's the difficulty?
It doesn't say for personas.
No, there should be one just general, like this is how difficult things should be.
Oh yeah, it's
I don't think I have
it's
it
in the
20.
skill thing, page 91.
Okay.
5 is unlikely, 4 is hard, 3 is moderate, 2 is easy, 1's trivial.
I think this will be 4.
I don't know, but I check anyway.
Yeah. You do not know. I think.
I got blue. I got 2. Blue is
You
red,
have
right?
not heard of this type, a person wearing that looks like this before.
That's fair.
You've never seen a mask like that. Yeah.
I might need to incorporate it into my wardrobe. More iconic than just a blacksmith.
Yep. Arn
Hmm.
steps forward with his retinue and walks right up to Aegil, looking up at him. Smells the ale and says, "You haven't changed a bit. Your father foolishly hoped you'd change, maybe even learn something during your time away. Part of me hoped he was right. But you're still just the same cowardly brute as before." And he's almost talking like he and Aegil were the only 2 in the room. Aegil is just like he's trying to hold himself back from just attacking this guy. Aegil, that sleeping fury I mentioned before is waking up. Do you do anything to step in?
Mm,
I mean, it's selling it.
Yeah.
Thorolf says, "Arn, I'm sure you know, Borg is starving. And we need food. And we'd like to put all of this behind us. Where's your father? Where's Scalagrim?" And
The man's in town.
does he even know you're doing this? And Thorolf does his best. Again, this guy is being cursed, so it's many times checks are not even needed. Thorolf, I think Thorolf says, "My father can't bring himself to be here right now, but he agreed finally that you're a lost cause, Aegil. So, you offer him to me. I take him. I imprison him. And you want Food?
Food and food for the town of Borg would be most helpful. And depending on how generous you're feeling, maybe come some sort of alliance for the, I'm sure you're aware, oncoming armies. You see the whole towers being built and the walls being thickened and the farmers picking up their swords.
Where did you hear that?
Well, with my own eyeballs, staring at your town with the farmers picking up the swords and with the towers being built and the walls being thickened. One doesn't do this against a starving town. One doesn't do this against the friendly dwarves in the mountains. One does this for armies with cavalry.
Love your
and
caption.
siege weapons.
I'm sorry to interrupt. The captioner was saying Arby's. It's great.
Armies, yes. Come get your hot beef sludge.
Hot beef sludge.
We'll go to war for Arby's.
Go to war for Arby's. It
I
is
want my fucking
rather
horsey sauce.
it is rather strange that you take in so much food if not preparing for some sort of event.
You didn't just go to Borg yesterday and manage to convince everyone of this? Fishermen?
We said we weren't just fishermen. We claimed we were adventurers.
This is not the first stop on our journey.
We are those who had denounced Queen Gunhild's treachery. We have saved the villagers many a time before. This is not
We
the
have
first
slayed
time.
treachery?
the skeletons. The treachery and the skeletons. We killed all of the skeletons on the island. It was the whole
Have
thing.
you not heard of the tales of that island we went to? What is the name of that island?
Yeah.
At
If you
Lon.
haven't,
I don't.
we know a very good skald who could regale you and your court.
I would consider poison treachery, wouldn't you? Or would you? Are you so far gone that you consider poison honorable? Try it. I can't stop myself.
He walks right up to you, Asdis, and he says, I consider openly accusing someone as powerful as Gunhild to be as good as suicide.
Oh, it almost was, but
Yeah.
you know,
The-
we're adventurers. We fought a shadow demon. It
Yeah.
was fine.
We killed the
Because-
shadow demon.
We
Just
beseech the Vater.
One.
Also,
Have you
skeleton
been
demon.
dealing with? Have you been dealing with shadow demons?
I've heard
I'm sure we
things,
can split it.
and I know that any grudges or enemies you have made amongst Gunhild or Eric Bloodaxe will not be forgotten.
As
But
God's will.
you still pique my interest. If, he looks at Thorolf, Egil comes with me to my prison, you four will be welcome. 5, looks at Thorolf, be welcome, and we can discuss the terms of this agreement.
Is there to be no trial? I mean, we brought him here alive on purpose.
I was in the past offered Weregild. That is as good as an admittance of guilt for me, that you would not pay if you were innocent. He all but confessed. He looks
Eagle, is this
coldly.
true?
My father offered you Wergild, Arn. I did not! And he doesn't lunge for him, but he does posture, even with his hands behind his back. I think, unless you stop him, and you can see, Egil is about to demand trial by combat here and now.
I mean, that's fine, honestly. Why
Well,
would
we also
stop?
have a perfect way into town if we do stop him.
He's
I don't
about
think
to
he
say
would
it.
go for that though.
Yeah,
I don't think.
I think we just need to let them fight it out.
I think we try and let Egil do trial by combat, and then try and egg the other guy into accepting.
Okay. So, yeah, I think Egil just says, "But if you're so sure I'm guilty, then why not let the gods judge? Arn, I invoke the right of trial by combat. If you have any amount of honor left in your cold bones, you will accept." And Arn hesitates and says, "Let me consider it."
Well, what is that thing I have that makes you feel good and like sure of yourself?
Arn will go to retreat a short distance and consult with his retinue.
Can I? Oh, you go first.
I was just gonna I'm gonna walk over to Alduin and say, "Watch the cloaked one."
Yeah, I was gonna try and use Silent Tongue to see if the cloaked one has Silent Tongue.
But don't you also
It's
have
just a
sense
skill
motive?
I have.
I mean, if the cloaked
I
one
do have sense motive.
can speak normally, then they're retreating far enough back that you wouldn't be able to hear if they're talking.
Well, Silent Tongue is literally ability to talk to others who know this language using natural sounds, physical gestures, smells, etc. Skill checks not normally needed. The rank in the skill implies at what distance the language is effective. Rank 1 is 25 feet, I think.
Okay.
So if anyone knows Silent Tongue, I'm just going like basically saying hello in Silent Tongue.
Yeah.
Like,
you're saying hello to them. I thought you were
Yeah, in
seeing if
Silent
they
Tongue,
were
like,
listening.
hey, what's up?
Okay.
How's it going?
Make a
You
check.
understand me?
So
Well,
is
it says
that
a check
power
is
more meant to be like
Okay.
you can communicate with things while you're a wolf and speak to animals, that kind of stuff?
It says ability to talk to others who know this language using natural sounds, physical gestures, smells, etc. A skill check is not usually needed. The rank in this skill implies at what distance the language is effective. So I think I can still use it as a wolf if someone else is silent.
We're
It's like
having
Thieves'
some
Camp.
technical difficulties right now. I cannot load the stranger's character sheet to see if they have Silent Tongue.
Oh.
So that's a thing.
I think it's more Roll20 issues.
It is Roll20. That's what it is.
We all have the thing.
That's great.
Yep. Let me close it completely and try to open it again, or did Roll20 just go completely down?
I could try loading Roll20.
Uh-oh. We're losing characters.
Are we?
Just Spencer, it looks like, in Roll20.
Yeah, I said I quit to reload.
Sorry.
I think they don't have Silent Tongue, so they can't understand you. But I will have to double check once I can see their character sheet.
I think it's a fair bet that no one has it unless specified otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's mostly for like druids and like nature-y people.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know, like, if even if he has it, he might just not want to talk to me.
And they can't understand it unless they also have it, right? It's
right.
Okay.
I don't remember. Does this game have like a true wizard kind of thing, where it's like you do spells and?
Seath Kona is the closest, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's probably got a sword or something then too.
They have a their cloak is covering them completely, other than the mask. It's very large and heavy. You cannot see anything under the cloak.
They should have... More than likely they're armed, is what we should be considering.
But yes, I cannot load Roll20 right now.
Mm.
But, anyways, they're consulting with a stranger. One of you wanted to make a sense motive check, right?
I was going to, because I have it at 1.
Yep, you can definitely make a sense motive check as you watch them talking.
Can you use Roll20?
I'm still in
If it lets you weird, then we're good.
Okay, so this is gonna be spiritual. I'm just gonna hit the cleanup button like 4 times. Yeah, it lets me weird.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I only have my void rune, so that's 2 in sense motive.
That is enough. You can tell that everyone in the retinue, including Arn, is looking to the stranger for guidance. They're not obvious about it, and Arn still considers himself in charge. Like he still considers himself in charge, but he will listen to this stranger. There's a bit of reverence, if that makes sense. Reverence might be too strong of a word, but this person is definitely honored.
Is it an apocalypse monk?
You didn't make a check.
Yes, it's an apocalypse monk.
So as Runar like comes over, is like, keep an eye on like the guy, right? Like I'll just watch him as they're talking, and I'll just lean back over and go, it seems like that guy is calling the shots. Well, what's his name? What's the? Hold on, I'll get it. Arn still is in charge, but they're all looking to Goldie McGoldface.
Stranger in the mask.
Mm-hmm. We could use this to perhaps poke at their manhood.
That was definitely the plan.
So they return after a few minutes of talking, and Arn says, "Very well.
Jarl, I mean no disrespect. I don't mean to cut you off, but it seems if you're deferring to the opinions of another man, and that's the person we're dealing with, perhaps they should introduce themselves."
Arn looks towards the stranger with his previous sense motive, like they're leaving it in there, like, do you want to introduce yourself? The stranger shakes their head no. Not yet. Perhaps in time. Even many of my own people do not know who they are, but they are wise beyond any of us. As for your challenge, Egil, I accept. And...
You mean they accept?
Yeah.
Because you're not in charge here.
You asked first.
Excuse me?
Well, it would seem when challenged in an honorable duel to combat, you wouldn't go talk to your father about it first.
I think, he says, when challenged by someone like Egil, who uses his size and might to beat down anyone he dislikes, any mortal man would have hesitation.
Well,
Wisdom didn't.
I didn't.
Was it to the death?
I mean, obviously not. I'm no fool.
Well, stranger, you should know that trial by combat is to the death. Either he kills me or my champion, or Egil dies.
But I'm no Jarl, so, I don't know.
Unless
Stakes of the position.
Unless one yields.
And will you?
I will not be the one fighting.
I don't. Well, who's?
It
It's
seems
hardly
if...
you to accept. How are you accepting?
Oh God, do I say this and piss him off? If it
Do
was
it.
the love of my life that he took, I would be fighting.
His eyes close in rage and shock at what you just said.
I wouldn't leave it up to another man.
I don't intend to kill him. I intend to make him yield. And he looks...
Return.
You won't
Eggle.
be doing it. You're also.
Hey, Eggle,
I-
will you yield?
Obviously seeing what's going on, Egil says,
We're
"Ha!
trying to egg him into it. Egg him
Yield
into
before you, Arn, or any of your champions. No. I am Egil, Scalagrim's son. I have made kings flee before me." He's obviously hyping up this. He talks,
Yeah.
says a few things about your
But
previous
that's
adventures.
The point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're trying to get the hype rampage. You'd be like,
Yeah,
hey,
he
'cause
says-
we want him to kill the Jarl.
I'm gonna start playing
I-
the John Cena theme on my little
Okay.
Ding, ding.
Arn. Again. Well, okay. No. Let's make a verbal manipulation check. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Tell me what you
I don't
got.
have it, so
We're trying to get him riled up enough that he's like, screw the champion, I'll beat you myself.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly
Plan.
what we'll see. We'll see if that works.
Runar,
Oh,
do it.
Yeah,
No,
Runar.
Group
I don't
check
have
on
roll
this?
20.
Weird.
No, do we want to group check it?
I don't have a skill that would help.
I don't have the skill either, but
Yeah.
Runar also
But
spoke
we're
up
all
for
kinda
verbal
working on it.
manipulation.
Mhm.
I still do not have access to Roll20.
I'm providing
Okay.
fictional
So is it-
positioning.
oh,
It's a spiritual test, right? Because I'm challenging honor and
Mhm.
all that kind of crap.
Mhm.
Nice. So that'd be 4.
And he's
Scornful.
scorned.
and he
has
is scorned.
So, Arn looked just like eyes bug out of his head, almost like fury. And he says, "I have not forgotten," her last words to me. "I've not forgotten every single moment you took from me, Egil." He goes up and he whispers to him, and for the camera, none of you hear this, but we as players hear this, and he says, "If it were not for the others here, I would kill you here and now while your hands were still bound behind your back."
That's the coward's way, bitch.
Yeah, but he doesn't say. Yeah, and he says, "But I will cut you down myself." And the stranger watches and does nothing.
Who the fuck is that? I don't have the skill, but can I see if I've heard anything being from Greece? Like a Phoenician from Greece?
That doesn't help.
Okay.
Nope. And I would check what weapon he had. I think. Oh, I'm back in. Good.
Hey,
Okay, Arn, what weapon do you have?
probably like a big sword.
Let's check.
And probably
Yeah, no, he has a great sword that he draws.
Oh, we're doing this now. Okay.
yeah, right here in the
You
field.
got a 4, and
All right.
he
Yeah.
says,
Let's do this. Draw a
"Arm
circle.
and untie him."
Egil.
I assume someone has
You have a
Eagle's
sword?
weapon, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I can. I'll arm and untie him and just remind him, hey, his blood's okay. He seems to be messing with you, but if you get any other innocent blood on your hands, you have problems coming. Hand us over.
trust me. I have been waiting for this myself. Arn's the reason I've been kicked off the island.
Cool. Kick him off.
I'm choosing to consider that legitimate.
We'll have a vote tonight.
I know the
On the
story. He
off
told me
chance.
the story in the woods. You know, potato, potato,
Potato, potato?
potato, potato.
So, there are a few ways we can do this. One,
I know those weren't discovered yet.
I say what happens. 2, I draw a rune. Or 3, we do a full combat, one of you controls Aegel.
I want to draw a rune.
Because
I'm
I
on
I
think
like the
team
idea of
drop on the
drawing a
bag.
rune.
I like the idea of drawing a rune, but also I don't think a Dune would personally let it get to the point if Aegel's gonna die, he would have to step in because of his oath.
I'm not going to draw a single rune. I'm going to be drawing multiple runes over the course of the battle. And
I think it's also due to the fact our show doesn't have the budget for a full combat sequence this episode.
Yeah, we spent it all on the cavalry charge in episode 9.
yeah,
Yeah, all the CG we used on that shadow monster, the huge cavalry
the
charge.
Shadow Monster drained our CG budget. We're trying to recoup it with some expository episodes.
The need a
Which is why
bottle
we're
episode.
I mean, there was
Portal.
yeah.
Very easy.
There's that run-in you guys had with Jormungandr at the end of season 1. As,
Yeah,
as you were sailing.
Yeah, we had to dive under. Yeah, it killed our budget.
Yep, you're still recovering even 2 seasons later.
Well, no, we're not doing as well as we thought we would 2 seasons later, so they have not increased the budget in between seasons. Like, we're not going to cancel you, but
yeah,
you got to work with what you got.
So, a red rune is an advantage for Aegel.
Okay.
A green rune is an advantage for Arn. And a blue rune is a tie, depending on how the context is, that either they both injure each other or neither of them, or they like don't injure each other at all.
Seems fair.
In between each one, you guys can like say if you do a thing.
Cool.
First
How
rune,
far do we have to go on, advantages before one of them kills the other?
first to
I think
3.
it's first to
Okay.
3. That seems fair.
Yep, recalled, shuffled. I will also show this now that I'm back on Roll20. There we go.
So this is a montage duel.
This is a montage duel, yeah. This is our bloody verses. That's what this is. Okay, so
Where's the room being drawn?
Yeah.
it's on the map of Islandia.
Oh, okay. rejoin.
So
It.
Aegel just does his classic blind charge towards Arn. I think he has a big hammer. I think.
I think he did.
So, and he just raised it to swing. Arn quickly just ducks under the hammer and slices at one of the hamstrings at his legs. So immediately we have an advantage to Arn for the duel. Then there we go. Then playing
That is the giant rune.
that true. Then playing more defensively now. Aegel, with hampered mobility, uses his range of his size and his hammer to keep away Arn for now, as he gets better balance. And there is a small pause in the fight as this happens. And then,
When action starts swelling, I'd like to just start making my way closer to the hooded person.
perfect. Unnoticed?
I mean, I don't know if unnoticed, but unthreatening.
Okay. Arn now himself ends up charging towards Aegel, who swings his hammer. Both of their weapons go flying, not super far away. They're both quite large, and then they are both on the ground. Despite Aegel's size, his injury gives him a disadvantage, and now Arn is just on top of him and punching him as hard as he can. He does not have the weight to stay on top of him, Eventually, Aegel pulls him and throws him off, just like throws him onto the ground in a tree. Not into a tree all the way, but they both get up and they both look quite bruised from the many punches and single throw.
I have a question.
Mhm.
I have a passive power that lets me heal others with a howl.
Okay. Do you want to just
It's an
howl in the middle?
It's an enchantment. So I assume it's not just like silent combat, like people are cheering, right?
Yeah, there are people that are cheering. The villagers are trying not. The villagers from Borg are trying not to cheer Aegel because he's supposed to be an enemy.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all like, yes. Yeah, they're.
I want to go stand by the mall, Aegel's mall or whatever he has, and have it like in hand.
To give it to him.
Not throwing back in the ring just yet, but if what's his face? Keep forgetting his name. Arn. If Arn recovers his weapon, I'm going to have it's prepared action in this game?
Yeah, basically contingency.
Whatever the contingency action. If he recovers his weapon, I'm going to toss the hammer back in too, so it's not going to be a massacre.
Okay.
And if Adun is going to be healing them, I'll provide some cover with that with my runes.
So healing is absolutely dishonorable in a one-on-one duel.
Shot.
Okay,
so
all right. I didn't know if I could.
You could try it sneakily, but not with a howl. I'd say.
Yeah, not the howling of the pack heal.
No. That's my pack howl is it's the out of combat is it just drives fear into the heart of your prey, causing flight and allowing you to corral your prey into a trap. That's the one that in combat deals +4 damage bonus and +4 parry.
Okay.
So what is this one?
This one is my blood drinker. Oh no, wait, that's the wrong one. Where is it? Oh, that is a howl. Rowling pack howl.
Okay.
Yeah, rowling pack. Yeah, no, you can't howl him better.
That's fair.
Mid-duel.
Runar, if you are sneaking close and not wanting to be noticed to the stranger, why don't you give me a sneak check? This will be opposed. So I will be drawing their runes.
We should have scorned the masked stranger.
You don't know.
Yeah, we don't know his name.
You don't know their identity.
About him.
Yep. Nothing except for the
his look.
I can confirm the stranger does not, in fact, have silent tongue.
Okay.
That's 2.
Okay, and I will check for them. How close are you wanting to get?
10 feet.
Okay.
That's very specific.
Mm-hmm. Here we are.
And I'm just making it look like I'm trying to get a better view of the fight.
Yeah.
So not hidden, but just not really noticed, but a piece of the crowd kind of.
I'm getting their runes ready.
17, 18.
No, I had to clean up a different old one. It's not that high.
Perception is at least mental, so we don't know. I feel like this is a very spiritual person.
I just garbagely said Apocalypse Monk. We don't actually know.
Yeah.
That is not.
Merlin.
It's Merlin.
And perception is mental based, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
At some point, we're gonna have to play a very wizardy game just so we can have dumb wizard characters. But
They
we'll cycle around back to that.
tied you, so I think they notice you as you get within 10 feet.
Okay.
They turn and you see them just like look at you. They turn as you get within the 10 feet.
Okay. I'll nod. And then summon the Hand of Tyr and pull his mask off.
Oh, that's great.
It's Odin.
Okay, so you pull the mask off.
Oh, we could just do that?
No,
Yeah, he's got the hand of Tyr.
they notice you first, though.
Is there a
Can I
sprinkle
out
of
of
What would you
dagger?
really
rune
expect
chain?
from this?
Well, that's the thing. I think you do it because you have a thing that boosts your initiative. They do not. So I think you
Is
can
there
act. You can act before they as they turn to look at you.
Even if it came down to initiative and
You would
went
win.
second, you can use initiative to go first.
Exactly.
Right.
So I think you pull off their mask before as they reach up to grab it. They grab it, but it's already a few feet or a foot or two from their face. You see the face, the round face, and light brown hair of a woman with a glowing golden rune hovering an inch or a couple centimeters past her from her forehead.
Would I know the rune?
Yeah, do we?
Only
Being as I
Runar
am-
sees this because he grabbed the mask.
Only Runar sees the rune?
Well, she's the one looking. Everyone's watching the duel.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
And she grabs the mask as it's just a few feet from her face and puts it back on as soon as she can, and immediately would start walking towards you, Runar. But you see
Nice
that,
to meet you.
while that is happening, let's see how the next volley in the duel is going. All right. So this is not a no damage kind of tie. They are both unarmed and just beating each other bloody. Arn knows he does not have the size advantage. He can't get in close, so he is picking up rocks and throwing them at Egil as Egil is approaching. Eventually, Egil still does get close enough. He grabs Arn and grabs him by the throat and picks him up. Arn bites his finger, Egil lets go and starts and Arn retreats again, but he's already holding his throat. Even the short while that he was getting choked was a lot. They're beating each other bloody.
Yes.
Egil, not
Now
one.
we're tied.
Yeah,
Now we're at 2-2.
Now we're tied.
No.
Egil takes this opportunity and grabs his hammer from you if he reaches for it.
I don't fight him for it.
Yeah. He grabs his hammer. Arn dives, sees that he's not close enough to his sword. He draws a knife. He has a knife in his belt. He draws a small knife. And that's not going to do too much as he tries to dip, duck, dive, and dodge the hammer blows. He does not, but then one of them just catches him in the chest and knocks him backwards, winding
If you can dodge an Egil, you can dodge a ball.
Yeah, he cannot apparently dodge an Egil. He gets hit.
And it's first to 3 of
First
their
to
color
3.
rune, right?
Yep. No, they're both fierce fighters.
They're both at
Okay.
2, though.
They're both at.
Because
Well, I thought they're both at
here's
1.
The blue was damage.
The blue is a tie, but it's not actually an advantage to either of them. They are hitting each other, but it's not an advantage.
So if
Whoa,
he gets
don't have
3
fight.
green runes, Egil's dead. If Egil gets 3 red runes, the other guy's dead.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I was understanding right.
And then for the third volley, I think Egil, having winded Arn, goes and picks him up with one hand, other hand holding the mallet. It's like, there we go. Now we can get you staying nice, and then Arn stabs him in the shoulder with that knife.
That was dumb. That was dumb of him.
Egil was just too busy gloating.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the desire and value.
Egil
He
does-
had a desire and
Yeah.
got the value of it.
Egil does not let go of Arn when this is happening. Egil is continuing to choke and crush Arn while yelling in fury and pain from the knife. And that's the second round. It's gotten even more just bloody.
I'm gonna stay close to Egil's brother just in case.
Yeah, Thorolf looks worried. But
Trust your brother. If things go bad, I'll get in there.
I want to glance over at Sir, what's his name? William?
Marvin.
Marvin?
Yeah.
Sir Marvin, is his hand on the hilt, or what's going on?
It's not quite hand on the hilt, but he looks grave-faced at this whole situation. He respects honor enough that he's not going to step in and intervene, but he really wishes he could.
These are all good things, seeing how I'm going to have to fight him later. So.
Yep. Asdis, what are you up to?
I'd like to just kind of check in on basically what the rest of my party members are up to, and is there any way that I can help them out, because I'm not doing anything to do with this fight.
Well, I think
don't
you
really care who
probably
wins.
would spot Runar, who is immediately having a conversation with the cloaked stranger.
So I'll just watch that and see how that goes down.
Yes.
The other two seem to be fine.
You have some nerve, Scald.
I'd just like to know who I'm dealing with. And you're hiding such a pretty face. Seems a shame.
Yes, well, many of you seem to not respect Pretty Face. Here with words. You can't listen to them. Without a face, you're not a very good listener.
What are these words you bring?
Tidings of war.
I'm surprised.
and we'll end that conversation for this session, but I think we'll also end the duel with this round. Whoever has the, in this case, it'll be whoever has the most red or green or red at the end. So let's see how it goes. Oh, once
With blue.
more blue. They're just both killing each other right now.
It's not pretty.
It's really not. I think that you see Arn is like continuing to basically, he's starting to lose consciousness while he fights, but he's like he can't quite reach Aegel's eyes or face or mouth because he's not as large, but it can reach his beard. So then he pulls his beard in to pull his head in, and then just scratches at his face ruthlessly.
Great.
Yep. While he continues to lose consciousness. This is getting very ugly.
Okay.
Swift smash with a hammer.
Yep.
What happens if they tie after this? Do they kill each other?
Yes.
Likely.
I'd say
Or
beat each other
something.
unconscious.
They
Because they didn't get
The
three.
only way
If
to
they
win,
didn't- the only way, yeah, they might not kill each other, but yeah.
the only non-killing outcome is 9 blues. I think 9 blues is the outcome where no one dies.
There's only 8 blues in the deck.
Well, if you get blue all the way down, I think you come out alive.
So
both
either
sides.
Aegel kills him here, or a green is drawn and they tie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, pretty much. With the time,
Aegel-
both dead.
Throws him off to the distance, and then Arn choking, grabbing his for his throat, barely able to breathe. It's just like he's next to his greatsword, but does not have the strength even to grab it. And Aegel approaches holding his hammer, just ready to like watermelon his head.
It's gonna be green.
No!
Aegel
Right.
wins. Aegel wins.
Well then.
Ooh, that's
Arn grabs his greatsword, raises it to defend him, and the hammer breaks it, smashing through it and killing Arn.
Yep.
See,
Decisive
what did I
victory.
tell you? As I wipe sweat from my head.
Yeah.
Just wringing your undershirt out, like.
Okay. And then Aegel will have scars on his face from this.
You Jarl now?
Troll blood or not.
Is that how this works? Are you the boss now? I'll
runs
go
Barter
do
Town?
my
I-
howl like oh, and heal him.
I
if
don't
need to.
know. He looks to the cloaked stranger, who stops the conversation that they were having with Runar. And everyone hears her voice. She says, I think she would. She removes her mask herself in front of all of you. You see a glowing rune in front of her forehead.
Do I recognize the rune?
What is it?
It is actually you do recognize. You would probably recognize the rune.
I do have lore arcana if I have to make a skill check.
You do not have to make a skill check. It's a rune that is also specifically a rune deck rune.
Oh.
Which one was it again? It was the Dagaz rune.
Oh, primal and nature. Oh, so the second one that got drawn.
She takes off her cloak, and you see a woman in armor with a sword and shield.
Oh, so it's not like a rune spell rune.
No, it's just a rune she has on her forehead.
Okay.
There is a picture of her. And she says, "You, Egil Skallagrim's son, are now Jarl of Borgarfjord."
Cool. You're gonna want to move Borg into Borgarfjord because they're coming.
As the Jarl of Borgarfjord, I should know. I think she says she would identify herself. You have my counsel. My name is Ingrid Flossadottir, an Einherjar of the gods.
Oh.
You should know you have 2 days until the navy of Eric Bloodaxe arrives at your shores.
Oh.
So I'm going to reach into my pack, grab a horn out, and blow it a couple of times just to let Skallagrim know to come on over.
Do I recognize her?
This is where we get the whole meeting.
What was your question, Marissa?
Part of my backstory was that I did a couple of jobs. Oh, wait, no, it was for the other side. Never mind.
The Sons of Muspel, yes.
Yeah.
Let's end things there as Skallagrim approaches. Oh, wait, we have another hour. Never mind.
Yeah.
Why did I... Sorry, I was thinking we were finishing now, but that was myself mixing up the time. So, Skallagrim comes forward. He was watching this whole thing. He looks agitated when he arrives, but not... He knows his son won the duel. And he looks at Arn's remains and shakes his head, but says nothing.
Oath accomplished.
So, I think everyone's quiet for a bit watching Egil. At least...
Yeah, we're just like watching to see how this shakes out.
Yeah.
If there's a spare moment, I'd like to step up to Sir Marvin and ask for a time delay on our duel, as apparently the Navy is coming, and I think we should both be in prime fighting condition before they get here. We need all of the swords we have.
The first thing that should be done is that we need to arrange a funeral for Arn. Is what he says.
Do you know how he likes it? We need to ask. You want like a pyre or like a tomb?
If you want, I can commune with dead, but really...
You want to ask him?
I mean,
his head has been crushed.
Yeah.
You cannot
That's
sadly
bad.
commune with him. You do
Oh.
need the skull, I believe.
Eggle, leave
I
the
don't know,
skull.
Doesn't say so, but I
Hmm.
also am good with that answer because I don't really have a.
Yeah.
That's the D&D
No, I think he
rule,
says-
leave the skull.
Yeah, I think I think he just wanted a normal Viking pyre.
Okay.
Isn't that right, Jarl? Marvin says, and he looks with more than a hint of bitterness towards Egil. Who are you? I am Sir Marvin. I served Arn. Oh. Well, you can go. We'll handle the funeral.
I would recommend keeping him because
You
soldiers from the Isles are pretty good. If we're going to be fighting
only if
Blood
they're
Axe.
loyal to us. And to be blunt, between your heritage and your loyalty to an enemy, I don't trust you.
Oh, he's a. If I have the measure of him correctly, he will. Sir Marvin is a man of his word and will hold to it, above and beyond any flag or banner.
I will not say for sure either way, but that is consistent with what you've read so far. Or
I'm just saying, like,
Oh,
from
you're saying that.
from Wisdom's perspective, that if I have the like Wisdom is saying, if I have the measure of him
I see.
correctly, he will hold to his word more than any banner or creed.
Well, if that's true, Marvin, was it? Do you pledge to me, your new Jarl, or do you go and leave? I'm pretty sure those are your only two options. You just slew my previous lord, who I held a life debt to. My honor says I should have revenge on you, but it was an honorable duel. I think I shall depart.
What about swearing to us?
I swore an oath to Arn because he saved my life. Now that is forfeit.
This gives you the chance to save the lives of others, to stay.
Is that not what your, deal is?
We can release you from it after whatever comes has come, and either you are dead, having fulfilled whatever noble goal you have, or you leave to go do whatever else you want with your life.
Perhaps get a farm on Islandia, who knows? Landed gentry.
I think.
Besides, I thought you might be somewhat invested with our duel with, Wisdom over here. Or are you that scared to face me?
The strongest man from Wessex.
Yeah,
You
so
would
add
be
that.
giving up the title of strongest man from Wessex.
If
if
you
leave now.
if you leave now, I'm gonna keep calling myself the strongest man from Wessex.
I will make no oath or promise, but I will not leave yet then. I will see how things play out.
Rachel, you go with that?
Egil is considering it. He says, only if you're under guard. I don't want you going to try and kill me in my sleep. I would not do that. Then make an oath to me that you will not kill me in my sleep. Marvin
Just say, don't kill me. Make it more broad.
rolls his eyes. Says, I shall not seek revenge for my lord's death, because it was an honorable one. Upon his killer, I shall not seek revenge. This I swear. And there's definitely some sarcasm, like, I'm making the oath, I mean it, but this is unnecessary. Egil also half agrees and seems mildly amused at this. And says, good. Then you can stay for now. He looks to the 4 people who were accompanying Arn and says, so, you're my guards then? The guards all look to the woman, Ingrid, like, you see the Jarl? And she nods. She's like, mm-hmm. Yes, sir, we are. We can prepare Arn's funeral, if you would like. Yes, and one of you show me around. I need to learn if I'm going to rule what this place is.
Let's get some food.
Let's take a tour.
Jarl, big man, one pressing piece of business. There's about 400 people in the town over that way.
Like
Currently
40,
starving.
not 400.
Ah, right. And he's obviously playing it up lightly as a joke. He's saying, ah, yes, I forgot about that. He then stops joking when he sees the sour faces of Thorolf and Scalagrim. We'll send you food.
No, bring them in the walls.
Yeah.
Bring them in.
The Navy is coming.
We should probably ride out
Very
the other
well.
settlements too and see if we can muster up a
You've seen
island
the walls
defense
around.
force.
Yeah, you've seen the walls around Borg. Sheep can pass through them.
My ram! As I run back to
Go get the goat.
Egil turns in front of the palisade walls, because those are the other guards on top of the walls, and he says, make ready! The villagers of Borg will be joining us behind the walls as we prepare for an encroaching army. And, there's a pause, and then they all, starting off a bit awkwardly, because of course the whole situation, they start following their new orders.
Mhm.
Let's go get a house before all the good ones are taken.
Okay.
I'd like to ask Ingrid something.
Yeah, Ingrid was going to approach Egil as he was receiving a tour of Borgerfjord, but yes, you can approach her first.
And what is your stake in all of this? Why do you care if these people are defended from the Blood Axe? What brings you here?
I think you misunderstood me before. And she, it's been minutes since she made her previous statement. She had the time to correct herself, but didn't. And she says, Eric Bloodaxe will be staying here.
So you are intending to give this land to him?
She nods. From here, he will create a safe nation in Islandia.
Have you asked your new Jarl about this plan?
Frankly, he can say no and die, but the previous Jarl was smarter than that.
This one's a troll.
So we aren't preparing for an invasion. We're preparing to welcome our new overlords.
For now.
I
Mm-hmm.
can't jive with that. I don't know what to tell you.
Egil
Can we
is
leave
now
town?
walking inside of town. I think it's just you 4 that are hearing this right now.
Yeah.
Scalagrim is accompanying and talking to Egil as he is getting a tour of the town. And they head inside. The others are really not quite sure what to do. I think Thorolf and the villagers from Borg will head home. You've already, did you seriously leave to go get your
No, I
notes?
didn't seriously
Okay.
leave.
Yeah.
It's on the to-do list, but
Yeah.
Hmm.
They're not
And now
gonna
it's
be starving
just
anymore,
Ingrid
so,
and you 4.
You do know that the queen deals with dark magics, yes?
I do.
And that does not bother you?
They have their place. Do you not remember the powers of Odin himself, whom I should remind you I serve directly?
This is true.
How big of a fleet are you expecting? Because last I saw of Bloodaxe's fleet, it was 2 ships and injured men. The rest were strewn across an island by a big tree monster.
That was a token force.
Oh, I see.
What you should know is that Eric will die before he ever leaves Islandia once he arrives, for he has been driven from his home kingdom by civil war.
Oh.
This is something that is like common knowledge, is there's some kind of like war for the throne with his brother. Evidently, maybe what you guys did, maybe not, Eric cannot win that war. So he's just said, screw it, I'm going to Iceland.
I'm making my own kingdom.
Yep.
But people already live here.
Hookers.
They do live here. That's why they'll be happy to join.
And when do you intend to tell your new Jarl about this?
I was going to tell him now. Do you want to come with me?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I would love to watch that.
Yes! Please!
She strides forward confidently through the gates, which are open now. They haven't been closed. And she says, Egil! Skallagrim and Egil were having a heated discussion. Low voices, though, and they stop and both stare at her. And she says, you should know Arn received a letter a few weeks ago telling him that Eric Bloodaxe will be arriving, and in no uncertain terms, that if he does not welcome him in, he will enter anyways. Arn was preparing to accept Bloodaxe and his kingdom as a new start for Islandia. Egil rather, wide eyes for a second, and then just starts laughing loudly. Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen here.
See?
Last time I met Bloodaxe, we saw him and his soldiers fleeing from spirits, and she's just like trying to like, I know what happened, and he's not. He's just like, and he just from spirits that we sent to rampage through him.
We?
It was not
Excuse
we.
me?
No.
I sent.
I remember a troll-blooded fella not wanting to die upon a cross.
Cut out with this wee shit.
Yeah, and Egil says, and I think Egil says, if Eric Bloodaxe expects a warm welcome here, oh, it's too late for that. He sings in character. Well, we'll give him a surprise when he arrives. Ingrid goes to say something, narrows her eyes slightly, purses her lips, stops herself from speaking, and says, Very well.
Wait, that's just okay?
I am a servant of the gods. I do not serve Bloodaxe. I do not serve Aegel. I'm a counselor, sure. But do not expect my priorities to be yours.
Well, do the gods want Bloodaxe to rule, or just someone to rule?
She doesn't answer that. She pointedly says... she pointedly doesn't answer that. She smirks slightly. And she says, once again, you mortals are asking the wrong questions.
How many of us need to die here to fill your ranks?
Her eyes glint when she hears that. She smirks a bit broader this time. And she says, I have tasks I must attend to. But, if you need me, I will be in the main hall.
Do those tasks need help?
No.
Fair enough.
And she strides away, black cloak behind her now. And I think as she goes, she puts on her cloak and mask once again. Leaving you four just inside the village, or town, alone.
You know we need to leave, right? This is a death trap.
Where else do we go?
Somewhere far away, where we can survive.
It might be possible to make this battle more even than expected.
I think if what she says is true, and I have no reason to think she is lying, this place will be the only safe place. I mean,
no, this is a place for men to die.
But after that, if we are the survivors, I don't know if there's anywhere else to run to, Runar. I mean, for Odin's sake, there's farms out front.
It is warmer here, in truth.
I could take off my sheepskin cloak. I'm sure if we get closer to that mountain that's blowing up, I could take a bath. I think what we need to do is hunker down, I don't know if everyone else here feels the same about Bloodaxe, but we need to present a united front, because a lone wolf is the worst kind of wolf. We need to rally the pack. And we only have 2 days to do it.
I'm gonna sort of just walk away and stare at like the sea, like the ocean.
As you're staring, you see that all of the reinforcements that have been building are for land side. The sea is, and you can see they're expanding the docks, which is probably to receive a lot more boats coming. There are currently no defenses built, no more than usual, against the docks.
I think that might be our first task, is to add a layer of defense between the town and the docks.
And then burn the docks.
Runar, what do you do?
I was gonna tap my omen, actually.
Okay. What is it exactly?
Just imitations of the future, or intimations of the future, excuse me.
Let me look at what that does. Do you want to describe it, or go find it?
Really, it's sort of like, it's just an omen that he catches, so it could be damn near anything. And if you want to leave it innocuous, I do have the skill to interpret it.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the ability into Nations of the Future. Is that a thing?
It's
Passive?
Becca to Yggdrasil.
Ah.
Or Yggdrasil's presence, excuse me.
Okay.
No, that's not it. Hang on. Which one was it? Where? There it is. It's Chant of Skald, I'm sorry. Get intimations of the future. Once per day you receive an omen. Out of combat effect.
Okay. So I think when you're staring out at the sea, you see the waves are typically large and heavy. They say that as Jormungandr writhes beneath the ocean, rarely to rise to the surface of it. That's what's causing these great waves. Between one of the waves, in the distance, there are clouds, fog, along the sea. And as you're looking, they seem to you to be in the vague shape of a fleet. Because enough ships are coming that it can be called a fleet. You cannot. The omen does not give you a grasp specifically of numbers, but one ship before held 140 armed men. You definitely get this sense of approaching doom, at least for you four.
Yeah. I mean, can take out these docks if you think that would help.
If you're talking even 10 ships, which is a small fleet, that's over 1,000 people armed.
Yeah, we could do 2
combat
ships.
Trained.
We could do 2 ships.
Now, you would know enough that if what you're hearing is true, it's not necessarily true that every person would be armed. If he's bringing like as much of his kingdom as he can over here, then there'd also be the whole logistics people, unlike raiding.
Yeah, fair. But
still, yeah.
2 days and wooden defenses when they can just light the town on fire and wait.
We just need to make sure they can't land.
They want the town. They don't want to burn it to the ground.
They want a base of operations, a fort.
That was gonna be Borgafjord because it is very defensible. I still because like is this map showing all the other towns on here? Like,
the significant
ones.
Towns? They are the significant ones. But due to its peninsula-like thing, Borgafjord is hugely defensible from both sea and land.
I think they should call the Alving sooner.
2 days. How long would it take to get to let's say Evangard, like up on the top over here?
Hold on, where's Evangard? Oh, to get to there, that would probably take a few weeks, but I'd have to double check that.
A few weeks.
We got 2
days.
If
if you're traveling by foot over mountainous land, a few weeks. Actually, for taking the boat, it would actually be closer to a few days.
Yeah, we just don't have time. What if we just got to like the ones that are closest, like here?
You want to start rallying people?
Well, Borg's like half a day, right?
Borg is like half a day away on boat. So this place is also similarly 3/4 of a day, probably. It's a bit further. And then all of the villages up there would probably be between half a day to 3/4 of a day up here, and then 2 days at most up there. But that's still each way.
And then there's response time to figure, because they got to mobilize and get here.
I have ideas, but I don't think I will share them at this point.
So the ideas running through my head are: we can't let the boats land because they take the town.
Yeah.
So either we could do something to impede their landing, maybe with giant ice cubes on the docks,
or just burn the docks.
I have something that I'd like to that may or may not get us help, and I just don't know.
And we can, either way, we should definitely
If there's
encourage and not set them up ourselves like rough barricades between the docks and the town, because one egress means that's the point we have to care about.
also if there's ever a time to beseech the gods, it might be now.
Yeah.
And
What?
Or
something
during the
along that
battle.
lines is what I'd like to do.
But what gods? Because Odin wants bodies for the fire, if we will, like there.
I, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, have a personal relationship with the other side, the Sons of Muspelheim. I was going to see if I could call on my patron and make a deal there and even this fight up a little
Oh.
bit.
Are you
Okay.
saying you got friends on the other side?
In low
Muspelheim is
places.
you have fire giant friends that you're gonna call upon?
Okay.
Apparently, yep.
God, I mean, I know one godlike entity that would love to fuck over Odin.
There
My
are
argument
many.
here is not even so
There are
much the
many.
godlike entity. Right now, it looks like the Einharriers are looking for a coup of we reap all the souls we can get. At least if the other side is there, it's more of an even take. So maybe we can get them to aid us. Maybe we can get, delay the ships a bit.
Because
have
I was
information
thinking,
for you.
where's the beseech? Where is that at? What are the rules for that?
Beseech the gods? I think it's under skills.
Yeah.
I think it's a type of skill.
Under
It's
skills?
a action.
Oh, it's under actions. Yeah, okay. So it's a common
okay,
I
so
action.
it's
do
gonna be
specifically
page
have
99.
generic actions. Page 99, you said?
Beseech higher power. Spiritual runes. So there's no skill or anything that helps with this.
But again, I do have a specific they are demanding, but will provide you with support in unexpected ways.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
was in the role when I randomly made the character.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to see that first? Or how do we want to do that conversation?
I think we're still thinking about a plan, right?
Well, I agree with just thinking about a plan. Regardless of whatever you guys come up with, the moment I have a chance, I am sneaking away and going to tell him.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
My
Other things we could do is, if we're still considering burning the docks, we could load the docks up with sheep fat and tar and burn them when the ships land.
yeah. Set up like a ambush.
Grapple?
The
Well,
god
I'm
I was gonna
saying-
beseech was Fenrir because I am a werewolf.
Oh, Fenrir's okay.
I think Fenrir is currently chained up.
No, I thought he was
No,
unchained.
Fenrir ate the sun.
Oh, yeah.
There's some sagas that say two different wolves do eat the sun and moon, but Fenrir sometimes is attributed as eating the sun and the moon.
Yes, it was, I think, two different wolves, and this time it was Hati and someone else. Fenrir is the chained up wolf, who,
Yes.
according to
It's
the
Loki's
lore, yeah, Fenrir is still chained up, and when Fenrir gets unchained, that is when, like, the final battle
Oh,
happens.
the final Ragnarok happens. Okay.
Yeah, that's at the end of the final age. Let me double check.
kid. Ragnarok conclusion or whatever.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, 'cause he
the
eats
trailers of the season finale show Fenrir breaking out. But I'm double checking that, but for now I think he's still. Here we go, the ages.
Just so you know, weirding or beseeching a higher power that isn't Acer is harder.
It is harder, but my void rune is a spiritual rune. I would definitely do like a Loki's bargain, and I have a lot of spiritual runes to draw from.
Okay. You need
So, I
at
mean,
least 3 for
Yeah,
it to not be bad.
yeah.
I think getting 3 is gonna be the shot. Like,
Yeah, because
Hmm.
I can at least get 3 if I draw 2 spiritual runes, but can you always do that trade-in? Like, let's say...
If
I just got-
everything, yeah.
Okay, so worst case, if I beseech them, and I only draw 1 spiritual rune, that'd be 2, they'd be mad, but I can spend those 2 to just get a different rune and get no effect.
Yep. I think Fenrir is still chained up.
Okay.
It doesn't say explicitly, but he is chained up in Asgard, and it says when he breaks free, he will wreak havoc on Asgard, and that has not happened yet.
Okay.
So we wouldn't
Um,
leave to go somewhere else and then come back.
I don't know, Loki. Loki might like fucking with people.
Loki's also chained. Well, actually, I don't know if Loki's chained up at this point. He might have escaped.
I think he still is right now.
Is he
No,
chained up?
Loki was chained up, has escaped, but is somewhere, hypothetically, on his way to, I believe, to help the Sons of Mooseful, or to help the Ice Giants. I'm double checking. Either way, I think he's escaped by now.
I mean, you can always call him
And
Loki too.
Yeah, one of the portents is that Loki, the Odin of Destiny, will escape his captivity, travel to Muspelheim, and join Surt's fiery host. I think Loki has escaped.
Okay.
But, I mean, you don't know whether or not he's made it to Muspelheim. But yeah. So, Marissa, are you going to get your flame speed dial on and just open up your contacts?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So, I think that you, what does it look like? How are you contacting this person?
There's definitely some sort of a ritual involved because I don't think speed dial is exactly what they're looking for. Probably
Yeah.
rummage around, have something
Yeah,
in the
it's
backpack.
more of a Rolodex. I get it.
Rummage around, pull something out of the backpack. I guess probably do some breaking of stuff, chanting.
Some chicken blood is involved somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Did you have a name for your person, or are we gonna? I can use the name generator.
No, I did not name
Because
them.
much like the Iron Harrier, the Sons of Mooseful, most of them nowadays are also former mortals.
Would
So
that be a very receptive higher power?
I'll check after. Well, we're not. This isn't besieging a higher power in combat. This
okay.
is backstory stuff.
Mm.
But I'm going to draw a rune to see what their name is. Their name is Ragnar.
Nice.
Nothing to do with Rag.
Nope.
Anyhow.
Ragnar is his name. And I think that
Mooseful son.
yeah,
Mooseful son? How would you ever you'd say that? It'd be pretty literal for the last name if you're a son of Mooseful.
exactly.
So, I was just reading the beseeching. We don't weird our own runes. The Norn weirds runes. They always
Well, the
weird
Norn-
4 runes.
The Norn weirds runes if it's bad.
Well, it says
according to that.
oh, that's the ire. Okay.
Yeah.
And target. The Norns can draw more runes to represent special relationship the drawer may have with that. Oh, okay. So you do weird your own runes.
Yep. So,
Okay.
I think probably I imagine you have to like set some kind of fire and do a ritual around like a bonfire or something to reach him. And I think that an image, the fire itself takes the shape of this long bearded face that emanates a voice and says, "Huh, what? Oh, it's you. Asdis, it's been some time. I thought you were done with us. What do you want, girl?"
I have some information that might be of interest to you, and I would be interested to trade it for some aid.
I see. Well, ever the mercenary you are. You've done good work in the past. What do you want? What's this information about?
The interests and actions of your enemies. The Ein Harrier.
That's vague. Anything more specific you can give me?
Yes, but I would like some
Anything
promises in
more
return
specific
first,
you can
thank
give me before I agree to something that may not be worth it?
Do you know someone who takes on the shape of, and I give the name of whatever her was?
Ingrid?
Yep.
Yes. We know of her. Somewhere in Iceland, in Islandia, she's stirring up conflict. She's cunning, and I take it you've met her.
I have, and I think I might know some of what her plans are. If you'd be
Good.
willing to possibly help foil them.
What do you want?
Aid, either in the coming conflict.
That can be done, absolutely. Let me speak to my associates. Let me see if we can get you some help. If there's one thing that I will need in return, though. If this Einherjar, if she even sniffs, if there's even a whiff of us and our people nearby, she will flee. Go start planting her seeds elsewhere. You and the friends I hear you travel with need to kill her first. Now, you know how this whole thing works, I assume? She doesn't stay dead. She'll come back later, back in Asgard, but it'll at least delay her.
Would not killing her cause more, comment?
She's already one of the Einherjar, so it's not like killing her will make her rejoin it. I mean, it's actually, I guess, better if you can subdue her without killing her. That's just difficult, given that they will happily commit suicide in order to come back later.
We'll go kill a Rakshasa, sure.
Pardon?
Go kill a
let's
Rakshasa.
let's add another vengeful witch to our list.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I think your price is a fair one. If you promise to give as much aid as you can to this land and its people in the coming conflict, I vow that I will attempt to kill this Einherjar. I'm trying to make an oath.
Yep, you can absolutely make an oath.
Your oath is that you will attempt?
It's a god. What do you want me to do?
I will do my best.
I'll try.
Give it the old college try.
Remember when, Spencer, you said that shadow thing's probably like the hardest fight we're gonna have? No. Just
No,
no.
it's fighting the Sons of Mooseful after we fail to kill the Odin witch.
Maybe we could beseech a higher power to take her away.
Please, Odin, please, just call her back. Tell her she has to go on her allotted 15-minute break.
Yeah. She's
have a
required by
union?
labor law. Yeah.
Odin is not someone who would allow unions among any of his people.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, Balder, try it. You saw what happened to him.
So you made an oath, and Ragnar is like, yep, that sounds good. We'll do what we can. Just very casual. Very unlike the serious Einherjar you met. He's just very straightforward.
Very hot boy.
Let me know when you've defeated her, and then we can safely arrive. I'll, see what I can do.
Right. I guess I'll spend some time putting out the bonfire and I guess return to where I assume these guys are still debating and say, well, we have a new goal.
Yeah, we're
And
experimenting how flammable sheep's fat is.
How quickly can I run to these outlying towns to get people? Like, I'm trying to say, like, if I just go by myself, how quick can I get there?
Boat is going to be significantly faster every time.
Even as a horse-sized wolf?
Look at how the land is compared to it. It's between that and the mountainous things, it would... Yes. Even as a horse-sized wolf.
Well, we have a new goal and we'll have some new allies if we can perform a task.
Oh boy, I wonder what task it's going to be. It's not
Good
like,
God.
oh, we have to kill a god or something.
The death
No,
witch
just a
wants a
demigod.
favor.
Just a demigod. It doesn't make sense to be fighting against Blood Axe with whatever her name is, standing by our sides and stabbing us in the back. I think it would make a lot of sense if we could maybe get rid of her first.
You want to take on a Einherjar? Bestowed with great power from Odin, come down to the mortal realms to reap souls from the land. You wish us to go up against that?
Yep.
It
We're
must
going
be
to die
Tuesday.
here. This is where our bones will be laid to rest.
Okay.
Well, if it is, we'll go out like heroes.
I don't know if attacking an Unharrier makes you a hero.
No, but saving the village might.
As you are talking and considering everything you see, obviously it's not enough time has passed for the people of Borg to arrive, but you see that people here the news is spreading of what happened. Arn's body is being carried inside, and the people are reacting with a strange combination of bitterness and grief. It seems that Arn himself had a mixed, the people had a mixed view of Arn as a leader. But they are preparing his funeral nonetheless. Enough people valued him that it will still be a large one.
Oh no, he's gonna come back. He's coming back as an Unharrier. He's gonna fuck us up.
I could actually check that later. I might.
Is there anything I can do to maybe stop that?
Yes, by reciting dishonorable deeds that he did at his funeral.
Oh.
You basically
you
the
have to be
funeral
the
itself is a big part of when you get into the heavens. So you have to basically he was the worst. He sucked. And then it's much less likely.
I mean, really, the only dishonorable thing he did was not accept the blood money, right?
Well,
Seem that dishonorable?
The blood money.
Accepting it is not required.
Mm-hmm.
In addition, he was not technically owed blood money because technically he had no relation to the woman who died. Skallagrim offered it anyways because he knew he cared for him, and then he basically said, I do not care about this. I want what he saw as justice.
And he left this other place to starve without giving them any sort of
yeah.
warning, and apparently they were going
not
to get
telling
destroyed.
them anything. Yeah.
These were his family, thank you.
As you are watching, the people in the village are getting more food. The storehouses are being opened. Not fully, not like we're having a village-wide feast, a town-wide feast, but it looks like there was a rationing going on even within the town to make sure they had enough food for later, and since we're no longer accepting an army, we don't need to ration that much. Let's at least have people not be hungry while we put them to even more work.
How the fuck do we kill a Einherjar?
I don't know, but the combat should be fun.
Heck, I think that pondering is where we leave off, where we end with the Sons of Mooseful. We're talking how do we kill the? You come back as well. We gotta kill the Einherjar. We're like, I know.
We really need those Sons of Muspel because if they have fire powers, they can burn their ships before they get into docking, and then they all die at sea, which is not the way you want to go.
Yep.
I figure even if they're aware of the conflict in here, they can swoop in and get at least some of the souls as opposed to everything going to that area. So it's a benefit for them to show up.
And they just want her gone because she'll run away anyway?
They want her machinations to stop. And she can tell if the Sons of Mooseful directly are coming to get her, so she will slip away and start new machinations elsewhere. If you guys kill her, it will have her eventually respawn, which means it will be a huge delay in any plans that she has going on.
And I assume if we actually somehow miraculously do manage to incapacitate her, then there will be greater rewards.
I don't. I think
I don't
it's
know if
either
it'd be greater
we
rewards,
kill
but
her or
she
she kills us.
Is that what you want to do?
She will, if she is incapacitated, then she will not be able to respawn. She will just be stuck here. And that's the benefit of it. She will be delayed until she escapes.
Right.
At least. Oh wait. Microwave.
Microwave. That's the answer to everything. It's microwave.
Because I don't. It doesn't matter how high her level is. If she's a high level, she gets hit for a lot.
Well, see, that's what I was thinking about the docks. I think we leave one and we put wisdom on the end of it.
Everyone just like charge, and they just collapse right as they get to him. Repeat it. Let's wall of corpses. It's like wisdom is an area of effect tower in a tower defense game.
Yeah, that's a bad move though.
One arrow, actually, probably many arrows, because you are still a tank, and of shroud. Yeah, it would be difficult to take you out.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'd be difficult, but not impossible.
Correct.
Wisdom is our boss fight.
Yeah. Is there anywhere else they could land on the island? Could they just like moor somewhere?
I mean, you could make a perception check if you wanted to find out.
I want to do that.
Get a sort of field analysis,
Let's
tactical analysis.
I assume we're going to post sentries along the coast just in case they do something really unheard of and, land at a
Well, they
different
don't
town
know
first.
that their buddy's dead now. What's perception again? What
In this case, it'll be mental. I don't know if it's always
Cool.
mental, but it is here, because this is an analysis.
I will... Weird. Ooh. That's 2 total.
Okay. So, because this is... They can technically land anywhere along the coast. It's very mountainous, so there's not really any other good place except by the docks to land in force at all in the same place. If they're able to land every ship outside of the docks, they would be spread out and be all over the place and basically be scattered. That's good for you because you have defenses around the whole town, so they would have issues with that. You would have an advantage, but they could still land. You would need a lot of arrows if there's enough people as you're expecting to prepare to just have people at the walls posted everywhere. They were partway through building more land-based defenses, which is good in this case. But they were most of the defenses were facing inside the land. So your best case scenario is to get them to land at somewhere
Outside,
like Borg.
Yeah.
If you can evacuate and then sacrifice Borg as a decoy for where they land, but then they would need to land at Borg, and then you would need to sabotage their ships so they couldn't leave Borg and just go back on their boats and sail to you anyways. So consider your options for how to do that.
Yeah.
But I think we'll end the session there.
Yeah.
Line of floating ice cubes.
Yes. Ice cubes in the shape of an arrow. Just point to Borg. They'll totally follow it.
Oh, no, we're just blocking off the sea and making ice bridges with many, many ice cubes.
I see. So, let's do the end of session questions.
Yep.
Did you honorably win a significant battle? Not any of you.
Nope.
Egil did.
Nope.
Did you brag about your deeds, celebrate
Yeah.
victory, or make sacrifice to the gods?
Yes.
Did we?
Yep. Right before the conference happened, I started bragging for us, and you guys all chimed in with, yes, we did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why the fact that we were the ones who ticked them off, that was already known. Kind of told them ourselves.
So you gain a glory. Did you swear an oath publicly for all nearby to hear?
I swore an oath to the dad.
Yeah, I think both
That's
of our
not
oaths were to
publicly,
a
though.
single person.
It was less of a boasting oath. Okay, so you don't get one just for swearing it.
Mhm.
Did
I
you
did do it though.
pursue or fully satisfy your oath? If you pursued, gain one glory. If you satisfy, gain another one.
So I get 2 total because I pursued and did it, and then Marissa.
I would argue that I satisfied it, but not necessarily pursued it. Basically, Egil became a person who that's not really a worrying factor anymore, and he seems to be reasonably taking charge of a group of people.
What was your old oath?
The old oath was if Egil kills another person without cause, which, as I said, I called that cause, he would die.
Okay.
Taking leadership seemed like cause to him.
I don't think you got any glory from that. You didn't lose any. It just became no longer applicable. So
That's honestly fair.
Yeah. Okay. And then, of course, did you break, renounce, or forsake your oath? I don't think any of us have done that yet.
Nope.
Okay. That's that. But I think you have some levels now.
Yes. One for the glory, which means I have another destiny.
Nice.
Same here.
Yeah, that's what's happening out of mine. I get 1, and it goes straight to my destiny. So now
You gain 2 levels when you gain a destiny.
So you all should be level 11 with me now, right?
Yep. Oh, hallelujah.
it's all of my glory, but now I can draw an extra rune finally.
Yeah, now you can draw 2. I think because you had 7 essence, right?
Yep, I have 7 essence and 2 destiny now.
Nice. Yeah, I have 7 and 2 also because I just kept putting essence.
I am now a glass cannon and happy to be so.
Wait, are you at 3 and 5?
Yes, I am.
Ooh.
Oh, God. Oh, wow. All right.
This should be fun. But yeah, you guys just got a lot more runes per
On
turn.
the plus side, if I can surprise attack, I can possess someone level 4 off the bat.
Oh, man.
Runes to do that.
We gotta figure out how we get her. That's how we have to get her.
Let's call it for now and see how things go.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you everyone for watching. This is definitely coming to a conclusion, this saga. And we'll be back, presumably, next week.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah, we're all dead.
That's fine. We understand what happens.
Yep.
Yes, we all die.
Such
and then
are
go
role-playing
off to fight
games.
for eternity.
Yeah. Dying is part of the story here. It'll be fine.
Yep.
It's true. It's just we're gonna be sons of Muspel instead.
Yep. If you're killed by a non-harrier, no, because it's specifically Valkyries that collect your soul, so it wouldn't affect it. All right. But if you surprise attack her, that might not be as honorable. Bye.
In this case.